When you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something.
That's right. Let's go. Yeah, when you're feeling down and you're out, like you got nothing but doubt, you're alone in the crowd, just trying to figure it out. All of this cloud and this money got you feeling left out. Listen up to me now, every word that's out of my mouth. Wake up, it's me. You gonna follow your dreams, or are you just gonna be another cog in the scene? You feel the hope in this beat, yeah, the hope that you need to proceed and be exactly what you want it to be. I feel right and I'm proud, hype and I'm loud. I'ma shout all about how I feel in the now. Ain't nobody ever gonna try to change me till I'm dead, pushing up daisies. I'm alone in the crowd, I won't feel down. I got hope right now, and I know I'll be found. I don't really care just what all other haters gotta say. I know everything I do is gonna make them fade away,
And when you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something, yeah. Then all you really need is hope.
Let's go, it's what you need when you're down, need when you're out. It's what you need when you're sad and when you feel left out. You feel an energy drought and then creeps out, but with a little bit of hope you can figure it out. Keep your head high even when you're down inside. Through the pain you fight and through the painful nights you keep striving, keep trying, keep driving, rising, keep thriving, surviving. Nothing's in your way but yourself, don't need nobody's help. You can make it through this hell, take it one step at a time, one step as you climb. If you fail you'll be fine, get back up to the grind and never lose sight of your mission. Be driven, this life is a prison if you don't have vision. You're in it to win it, so get it, don't miss it. Your chances now, so be something somehow. Don't let yourself down. That's right. Sometimes all we really need is hope.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Look at me remembering to unmute the first time. Hi, Lip Block. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Roberta. Hi, Anna H. Girl. Libby. Good morning. Hi, Language of Forces. Good morning, Avery. Good morning, Rexy. Hello, Victoria. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, Salty C. Hello, Mike. Music City Mom. Hello, hello. Heather Bratt. Good morning. Good morning, Joy. Mama 4, hello. Hi, Angela. Hi, Chemistry Queen. Hello to everyone else who I missed. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Reality Wins. Yes, Sebastian Strong. I really am hoping and praying. So the press conference is still about 2.5 hours away. We do have other stuff that I want to cover. We still have a couple interviews that we have not listened to yet. I want to talk about everything, honestly, because it's been a few days since I went live on this. I think Friday, I believe, was the last day that I did an update on Sebastian Rogers' case because of Easter and family events and things like that. And then yesterday, of course, we were live for like 56 hours of jury selection. Felt like 56 hours. It was only like 10, but it still felt like 56, let me tell you. And then we have jury selection again today for the Chad Daybell case. We will be streaming the entirety of the trial on this channel. If you guys are interested in watching the Chad Daybell trial, that's the Doomsday Prophet murderer alleged to have killed his former wife and his new wife, Lori Daybell's two children. So do we actually think that we are going to get any updates? You've been praying for Sebastian. So I don't know, Heather Bratt. I do not know. So they are straight up saying in these articles, let me just dive into this. Start out with Sebastian's picture. Of course, he is still missing. I still personally continue to have the hope that Sebastian has ran away because of the situation surrounding his home life. We have heard since Friday, we have now heard information that there was a separation occurring between Chris and Katie. I'm not sure how much truth there is to that. But Seth has revealed to individuals that Chris had reached out to him a few months ago, asking him if he could take Sebastian, because they were having problems in their relationship, and they may have been going through a separation and things like that. So could there have been a lot of fighting, arguing, bitterness, bickering, all those type of things in the home? Sure. We also have now heard from Nina, and I know that there's a lot of controversy over Nina's interview that she did with Treb Time. I personally am of the opinion that a domestic violence victim should always be permitted to tell their story, whenever they see fit, whenever they are comfortable to do so. Having been a victim of child abuse and domestic violence myself, I would be mortified if somebody told me that I did not have the right to come onto a social media platform and share my story. Do I think that it plays a role in Sebastian's disappearance? We don't know. We don't know until we know what we don't know. Until we find out why exactly it is that Sebastian is missing and where he could have possibly went, everything is on the table. We don't know if Sebastian ran away because, Chris was abusing him, allegedly, possibly, right? We don't know if he ran away because of the fighting. We don't know if something was happening between two things. All it does is it gives us a background of the picture, but we are still looking for the main image. We're still looking for what happened and why he left, or why he is not with us right now, not where we can find him. And so it gives this whole, it's starting to paint more and more of the background images, everything that we're hearing that plays into the final photo. What is it that we are going to be looking at? What happened to him? And so I think it does play a part. Yeah, there's no word either way. It's sad. You don't think that they're going to say much, but you do think that they know quite a bit. I think they do too. We have We're seeing more and more in these other missing person cases where they are coming out and they are giving straight up details and information and updates, and it's very frustrating that Tennessee in general does not do that in cases. It leads to more speculation and rumors than what it's worth. And in my opinion, they just need to come out and put things out in a way that is understandable, that cannot be manipulated or changed, and just be upfront with us about what is occurring. For example, Lokamai was live last night about the two missing moms, the pastor's wife and the other woman, that went missing in the vehicle that was found abandoned in the middle of nowhere. And whenever she was going through that case, she was able to pull up an interview from the police or a press conference from the police. I can't remember which one it was. And she was able to share specific details about that case. She was able to share specific details about that case from law enforcement directly. So it takes away that ability for us to say, well, could this have happened? Could that have happened? Because it answers the questions before our mind has to wander them. Before I can come up with 36 stories of what could have or didn't happen, it answers those questions already. And so I think that's important in these cases, especially knowing that social media itself runs rampant, and you can blame it on each individual creator all you want. But regardless of if I am up here reading the theories to you or telling you my personal theories or not, you still have TikTok, you still have Twitter, you still have Facebook, you still have Instagram, all which each individual person in the audience says their opinion. There is 193 of you in here currently. Some of you may or may not agree with me on absolutely anything that I say, but here's the thing. Each one of you is an individual person that has your own thoughts, feelings, and opinions about what is occurring in this case or not. And the more that people vocalize that, the more that police need to be upfront and honest, because again, it answers the questions before we can even ask them. Caleb Harris is another example. They came straight out and they said, listen, the Uber driver is not a suspect. The roommates are not suspects. The individual that he was communicating with prior to his disappearance on Snapchat is not a suspect in this case. They right off the bat took that question in our minds off the table so that we know who not to look at. Idaho 4, they had an entire website, an entire section of their website that was just dedicated to squashing rumors and trying to correct misinformation. And some people think it's ridiculous that they should have to do that, blah, 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 blah. I've heard all kinds of preaching. I feel like I've been in one lecture series after another this last week. It's ridiculous, honestly. We are never going to control what each individual person in our audience thinks, period. You can't do it. And so the important thing is the people with the information, if they can come out and put out correct details to help slow down the crazy, that's what they have to do. Tennessee, unfortunately, in general, just does not do that. They just don't do that in any case, and it drives me crazy. It drives all of us crazy. Yeah, the only thing that you can definitely say is that you get ick feelings about Chris as a person. Sorry, I'm, like, way behind in chat now because I just went on, like, a 4-minute, whatever. You just hope that they give enough to help for the search and put some rumors to bed. Me too. They can answer several very simple questions. For example, one question that I hope that TBI comes out and directly answers to us is, was Chris foreshore in Memphis that weekend? That right there would answer so much. Do they have location data on Chris from the beginning of Sunday until Monday morning whenever he was called out of work? They need to tell us that. If they have that information, that alone will clear up so many rumors. Good morning, Kit. Good morning, Mel. You're wondering if Chris hired someone to unalive that poor boy. I don't know. See? And these are questions that we have, right? Because now we have heard from Nina about this alleged, and everything is alleged, right? Because you can either believe her or not. That's your personal decision to believe the story that was told or to not believe the story that was told. But trying to control if she tells her story or not, her truth, that's ridiculous. That's her personal decision. If she wants to put her custody situation and all of those different things at jeopardy, blah, 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 that is her personal decision. None of us should be dictating to her if she is allowed or permitted to tell her truth, whether it's on a good channel, a bad channel, whatever. Who defines on this platform who is a good channel and who is a bad channel? I can guarantee you right now, there are people in this audience who think that people that I would consider tragedy pimps are amazing channels and that they love those channels. I can guarantee you that people that you think are tragedy pimps, I'm thinking, nah, they're not that bad. Right? Because each one of us, that word itself is open to personal opinion on this platform. There is no definitive answer. And so the fact that there's issue if she told her story, didn't tell her story, whatever, does it take the focus off of Sebastian? Not necessarily. It's her own separated story that gives us the background of the picture that Sebastian was living in. The question we all have is, if he ran away, why? If he ran away or was lured out of his home, why? If he had access to social media to be lured away, how? Right? And if he did not get lured away, if he did not run away, where and what happened to him? Those are the questions. And in order to understand all of it, we have to look at the whole picture. That's the entire point of internet sleuthing and looking into these cases and things like that, is to dig into the mystery and try to understand all of the details. Yes, Music City Mom, we are experiencing bad weather today, possible tornadoes. You hope Sebastian isn't out in the weather. You guys are getting it. Alabama, I heard, is under tornado warnings. They are expected to have a large wave of tornadoes come around 1 p.m., according to the post that I read earlier from Reed Trimmer. They are looking at an outbreak possibility. I also am getting thunderstorms today. If I lose power before anything happens or during this live stream or other live streams, I do apologize that I just kind of disappear. So, you think for most of us, it's hard sleeping at night knowing that these children are out there, right? Especially as children on the spectrum. It's like a kick in the gut. I agree. Sorry, I'm very far behind. How did she park in the garage? If the bed was still in there, when was the bed got rid of? I don't know, Elizabeth. Right. Look at the Watts case. They dropped almost all of the discovery, and that still wasn't good enough, right? We will always have questions. And it's not just us as creators, it's you guys. I'm sorry, but I'm not naive enough to think that in this room right now, out of 284 of you, that you all have a different personal opinion as me. It's not my job to stand here and demand and dictate that every single one of you has the same opinion. Could you imagine being in a world where it is legislated and dictated to us that we all have to believe what everybody else has to believe? There's no way. Is there any evidence that Sebastian even made it home after dinner that night? I don't know. They have not told us. They haven't told us anything. We have heard the story and we have heard that's it. I mean, I can read you guys. I'll show you all of the TBI updates that we have from the TBI newsroom and that's it. That's what we have from law enforcement. Until then, until the press conference today, right? You didn't watch the interview with his ex. You feel like you're behind. I'm not going to play Nina's story on this channel. If you want to watch it, we can get you the link. BC, if you're here, if you could grab uh, Trev's interview with Nina and drop the link for that, I would appreciate it. You're 50-50. Part of you thinks he's alive. The other half, no. Yeah. It's still, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And all we can do is ask. Right. A reporter asked Sebastian's dad pretty bluntly 2 days ago after the three of them went in for an update if any of them were persons of interest, and he said no. But at the same time, he said that that doesn't end. Like they can be telling him that they're not persons of interest, but they will not say that outwardly until the investigation is done. They could tell them anything. Until we hear it from TBI ourselves, I just don't know what we can believe. You think for the safety of her and her own child, and for Sebastian, she had to tell it, right? Why don't we know more about the mom? I think because mom has been so stoic and so um she's been very in herself, and that could be caused by medications. Honestly, you're in PA as well, Sluice. Me too. That's where I am. Yeah, we are getting it's been nonstop for days, but it's like really bad today. I mean, like I can't even see. It looks like fog almost outside. It's raining so hard. They canceled some of the county's schools because of the weather. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We'd all be yes men. Could you imagine? Ugh. You don't think the news conference is gonna give us much of anything new? If we go based off of previous history with TBI, probably not. Just Tennessee in general, it will probably be a lot of asking questions and them responding with, "That's part of the investigation." They are gonna sound like just like Chris answering questions on a live stream, honest to goodness. The other case, the guy who disappeared after the DoorDash made you wonder if Sebastian is a possible hit and run situation. Someone hit him and took them with him. Oh, wow. That's scary. That's a scary thought. Thank you so much, Avery, for grabbing that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Good because it's too long. Yeah, it's 2 hours. 2 hours. What about mom's family? We don't see so because Chris is so outspoken and things like that and was the one talking, I'm not sure very many people dug into mom's side of the family or into that information. It was just easier to attack to attack Chris. And so that's what in the internet in general has done, but it's because he comes across as a not likable person. I'm just saying. But being a not likable person does not mean that he did absolutely anything to Sebastian. You're really starting to dislike the entire state of Tennessee, right? You're getting snow, Annie? Ugh, it's too late for that. It's April. It's April. Hi, Foxy. So I don't know. So let's pull this up first, and I will show you guys what Tennessee has actually put out on their actual newsroom. I'm gonna read it in reverse, which sounds weird, but I'll start at the bottom. They got all these pictures of Sebastian. Maybe I'll just start at the top. I'll just start at the top. We'll just read the dates backwards. So it says as of March 22nd. Let me make this bigger for all of us since I don't have my glasses on. There we go. Tennessee is a great state. Most of these parents of the missing are not from Tennessee originally. It's not so much about the fact that Tennessee itself is a bad state. It's just that the press conference, and is at 11 a.m. Central Time. 11 a.m. Central Time. So we have, 2 hours yet. But there was a lot of information that I wanted to talk about and go over first. I did not see that seal. Tennessee itself is not a bad state as far as living. It's a very, very beautiful place. The issue that I have with Tennessee is they're sort of like West Virginia. West Virginia, every single time that there is a missing child in West Virginia, I cringe because West Virginia is very, very closed off. Like they're worse than Tennessee, to be completely honest. Virginia, West Virginia, both of them. They keep everything so close to the vest that you can't even find anything out. Like, for example, for years, we've all been looking for Angel Nicole Overstreet, missing infant. And they finally came out and basically said that evidence of her being deceased was found, I believe, in the pond that they had searched within the first couple weeks of her being missing. And for years we're like, why aren't they telling us anything? We're calling them, we're emailing them. People are looking for information, trying to find out, is she still missing? What are we looking at? Is anybody going to be charged? And Shannon Overstreet has now been charged with her murder and things like that. We're waiting on court for Shannon Overstreet, but here we are. We've been in the dark all this time looking for a child that was never out there for us to find. And it kills me whenever they do stuff like that, because it's like, just tell the public. Just tell the public. Yeah, West Virginia is terrible. It's awful because you just don't get information. And Tennessee is the same way to a certain extent. People keep comparing this case with Summer Wells. Summer Wells' case would have never got as crazy as it did if law enforcement would just come out and correct slight misinformations. That's all they have to do. They're telling people individually whenever they call in. There was a video made the other day of somebody calling in because they've been harassed by people accusing them of potentially being a suspect in the case, and they called in and did a recording of the police department asking them, "Am I a suspect in this case?" And they said, "No, you're not a suspect." Why can you say that individually to that person, but not correct the misinformation on the web on a larger scale to more people so that the crazy doesn't happen? That's all you have to do. Yeah, 1,020 days. That's 2 years, 9 months, and 16 days for Summer. And we still have very, very little factual information about her investigation. It's very frustrating. And this is the same way. And so this is Amber Alert status, Sebastian Rogers. So this last update that they posted on their TBI newsroom about Sebastian was from March 22nd of 2024. Special agents and intelligence analysts continue to go over and review information that has been collected since the search for Sebastian began. They also continue to follow up on tips and leads as they come in. To date, more than 240 tips have been provided through tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov, email, and the 1-800-TBI Find tip line. We still encourage residents who live within the search area to check their property, outbuildings, and under decks, inside boats or cars, anywhere a teen may be able to hide. If residents have property that has terrain that may be including ledges, holes, and unstable footing, and don't feel comfortable assessing it themselves, we can have someone with law enforcement do that for them. Much of the work is being done to track down information about where Sebastian may have gone. Is not something you will necessarily see in the public. But we want you to know that every day work is being done to find Sebastian. Any information you may have about Sebastian, what he likes to do, where he likes to go, and people he may know, if it can help us find Sebastian, please let us know. Good morning, Fly Girl. 3:15. On February 26, 2024, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Sumner County home, leading to a large-scale ground search that resulted in first responders covering about 2,000 miles in the efforts to find him. And then they have his flyer with the incorrect weight. His weight is actually 113 pounds. Based on his last doctor's appointment, Duchess did get the updated information from Katie after there was a lot of speculation about his weight, because Seth was saying he was more like 105 to 108 pounds, and the TBI flyer said 120 pounds. Now we know his last weight was actually 113 pounds. Maybe Elizabeth. I still haven't seen any actual confirmation. You gave them a tip to see when the last time Sebastian used his Switch was. The lady hung up on me. Yeah, because they know, guys, they know how to um investigate as far as the social media devices and things like that. Let me ask you a question real quick. Can you hear the baby's music? She has her thing turned up, and I'm just curious if you guys can hear it. Okay, Seal, drive safely. So we continue to work with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to both proactively pursue information that may be relevant to the search for Sebastian and to pursue any tips or pieces of information that came in. We have not forgotten about Sebastian. Much of the work currently being done to bring Sebastian home may not necessarily be public or visible, but agents, detectives, and intelligence analysts continue to work around the clock to review every bit of information available. Sebastian's family has remained cooperative since the search began and have done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this stage in the investigation, there are few clues to indicate what happened to Sebastian or where he may be. There is not proof at this time that there is any criminal element involved in his disappearance. But there is also not proof that there is not a criminal element involved. So agents and investigators are reviewing any possibility at all that may indicate where Sebastian is. In order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we cannot discuss many of the specifics surrounding the case, but we know how many people care about Sebastian and what has been done and is still being done to bring him home. Also, we want to caution the public that putting too much stock into information being presented in various media forms that is inaccurate or incomplete could be damaging to the investigation. they are not just referring to YouTubers. I didn't realize I still had the flyer up. They are not just referring to YouTubers whenever they say this. Allegedly, the video that Nick Beres put out with the quote unquote flashlights was extremely misleading and was not flashlights, based off of where the camera was actually placed and things like that. He was given incorrect information, and I don't think it's necessarily his fault. He was given incorrect information and presented it in a way to make it seem like there was two flashlights because that's what he was told, is my guess. Unfortunately, it was not true, and it was not correct, and it was the garbage truck that day. So they're not just referring to YouTube, they're not just referring to TikTok, they're not just referring to Facebook. Yeah, the trash truck. High Cooter G is 29 degrees that night. Wow. Do you think TBI's lack of info to the public is the result of an inability to see online sleuthing as something positive or helpful? I think it's a combination of things, Kimberly. Um, I think that they are just so set in their way of wanting to rely solely on police forces. And so, yes, and in that way, they're not seeing social media as a valuable resource. But at the same time, they are to the point where they're asking the public to help look. They're asking the public to look for this information and things like that. Um, but then they don't want to give the public any answers, which, don't get me wrong, they do not owe us answers, right? They do not owe us answers. But we have seen that speculation does not spin out of control in cases where the public is just kept up to date with basic information. Now, the only time that I think it would be helpful to not give basic information is if that basic information is going to lead to Sebastian's harm. For example, if they know for a fact that Sebastian is being held captive somewhere by somebody who may have lured him out of the home, and they don't want to say, hey, we believe at this time that Sebastian was lured out of his home, that could be extremely dangerous to Sebastian, right? Because then the person knows that they're looking for him where they have him. However, if that's the case, if it's something like that, they could still say things like, we can confirm that Chris was in Memphis. We can confirm that Sebastian took the trash out that evening. We can confirm that, Sebastian was returned home after the restaurant. There's little things like that that they could come out and confirm those details, for the to slow down some of the speculation. Does that make sense? You don't have to tell me that every single person is cleared or not cleared or whatever, but you can confirm the the just the confusion, because I mean, I'm sorry, whenever it comes down to it, a lot of the confusion was started by Chris constantly telling us that everything was part of the investigation, right? The door lock was part of the investigation, instead of just telling us that it was a coded lock, making us have the assumption that Sebastian somehow was locked out, like that the door was locked after Sebastian left somehow. That makes it seem like he left not on his own accord, and that somebody did something to him and then locked the door on their way back in, right? It adds that crazy twist to the story that was not necessary to be added in. Saying that they're not allowed to talk about how many pairs of shoes that he has is part of the investigation. Why? Why would that be part of the investigation whenever Seth was able to come right onto a live stream and describe in detail every single freaking pair of shoes? He was evasive, and it made it made people have more questions than we had answers. And that led to a lot of the crazy. And so law enforcement could come out and correct some of the little misinformations like that, that would lead to us, not freaking going so crazy, trying to listen to the word salad of all these parents and figure out what could possibly be going on. So let me catch up with the chat. Yeah. It does. It does way more harm than good, in my opinion. Right. Then the flashlights turn out to be right, a tiny keychain light. "Oh, I'm glad that you're getting ready to go home." Yeah, the HIPAA comment. Like, there's just weird stuff that has been said that just does not help, right? It does not help. And that's why, in general, coming to the platform to do interviews, it has it's a double-edged sword, and I've said this multiple times. You know, if you're coming out and you're just I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Um, it's a double-edged sword though, because a lot of cases, nobody looks for the children. A lot of cases fly completely under the radar, and people do not know that these children are missing. They do not look for them. They do not research their cases. They don't There's nobody sleuthing Magdalena's case right now. There's nobody looking for this 14-year-old girl also missing in Tennessee. There's nobody looking right now for Abdel Hernandez. There's nobody sleuthing this 13-year-old that's disappeared in Tennessee, right? There's nobody sleuthing right now Calvin Ringer's disappearance, a 14-year-old missing in Tennessee. Why? Because they're just a flyer. They're just another flyer that we tweet and retweet and share and not share, and we just pass right by it. And so that personal connection that comes from the family members speaking out on social media and helping search for like begging and pleading and to look for their missing loved one. It does bring a personal connection with those cases that we feel the need to look and help those parents. You feel the need to help find this child who is a missing person, a whole human out there that's missing, right? We want to know where Sebastian is because we've connected emotionally to this case. We've connected with Seth and then the way that he speaks about him and things like that. The other side of things is whenever you have somebody like Chris who comes on and does an interview, and he's not a likable personality, and he's controlling the interview and he's controlling the narrative and things like that, just because that is how his personality is. Doesn't mean that he did something to Sebastian. Not necessarily. But then we have Grandma Robin, throwing shade at him everywhere. So then it makes us raise our red flags, right? And so it's a it's a good and a bad thing. It can go either way. Because now it's just made us dig into who the heck are these parents? Why does everything feel so phony? I've said that since the beginning. That very first couple interviews, it felt like they were hiding something. And now we're hearing from Seth that there was turmoil in their relationship and that they may have been getting a divorce or that they were separating and they wanted him to take Sebastian. If that was going on in your relationship, why not just come out and say that? Why not just come out and say that? If that's what led potentially to Sebastian having an environment that was not copacetic, that was not something that he wanted to be in, and he decided to run away, why not just come out and say that? They didn't want the public humiliation, they didn't want the embarrassment, they didn't want people digging into their personal lives because they wanted to keep it private, and I totally understand wanting to keep your skeletons hidden. Um, but once you open yourself up to the internet with skeletons in your closet, I'm sorry, but internet sleuths are gonna find them. Yeah, PJ is constantly posting cases that no one hears about. Absolutely. Right, it's crazy how many missing people are in Tennessee. Exactly. Loved ones speaking out make the missing person real to me rather than just a photograph. You remember. You remember those cases whenever you hear the loved one pleading for their missing child. Somebody was saying, has the internet ever actually helped a case before? And I brought up Talem Berry. Um, put a one in the chat if you guys were around whenever I covered Talem Berry with Level Headed. Talem Berry, we had mom on. And mom came on, she did an interview. She was absolutely, oh my gosh, she was a wreck. He was kidnapped by his non-custodial father, and he was taken away. And his non-custodial father thought that Talem was a god. He was of the opinion that Talem was the Messiah and that he had to get him out of the area before something bad happened in the government and things like that, and he took off, right? He took Talem and he took off, and she went to go get him after it was her turn for the visitation and things like that, and he was gone. They had spent a lot of time prepping and getting their or he had spent a lot of time prepping. He had gotten a large supply of food, water, different things like that, and they just disappeared, right? So what happened was we had her on for an interview, and that interview was shared all over the place, right? Somebody recognized his vehicle after seeing the interviews. After seeing this mom pleading, they they they're they recognized his vehicle, and they were able to turn in where they had seen the vehicle, and they found him. They found Talem. We were all super concerned that it was gonna end up being another situation like Chad Daybell. Um, Jorge Morales from Florida was missing from Florida, again, taken by a non-custodial father. His mom came out all over social media. We shared flyers, plastered them absolutely everywhere. Somebody in Canada following was able to spot him in a Walmart in Canada from Florida. Social media is extremely important in these cases. Extremely important. And so to say that true crime shouldn't be covered, or that, we need to keep to just this or just that. No. If a parent wants to tell their story, let them tell their story. And if people want to discuss it, we have to let them discuss it. You can't dictate how other people do their stuff. So what areas have been searched? Within the first several days of the search, more than 2,000 miles were searched on foot. Many of these areas were initially searched and searched again. Law enforcement officers have searched the neighborhood, surrounding neighborhoods, schools, and many other areas of the county by foot. Bloodhounds and handlers have searched the same areas. There have been aerial searches with helicopter, drones, and fixed-wing plane. These aerial searches have been conducted on multiple days and multiple nights using thermal imaging technology. Sebastian's residence, the yard, the house, the vehicles have all been searched multiple times. The neighborhood where Sebastian lives has been canvassed. Neighbors' houses have been searched. Sebastian is autistic, and his family says he is drawn to water. Pools in the neighborhood were searched, dive teams were brought in, and bodies of water around the neighborhood and beyond were searched, including caves. So what about the technology aspect? Have you collected security video from area homes and businesses, and have cell phones been checked? Many neighbors and businesses have provided video from the home and business surveillance systems. We are grateful for that cooperation. The video has been collected, and from the beginning of the investigation has been analyzed and enhanced where possible by tech experts with the TBI, FBI, and Secret Service to date. Nothing gathered from these video systems has been determined to be significant. We do caution that some surveillance video being shared in the public may have been misinterpreted or misidentified and not shown in its entirety. It has been determined that it does not hold any evidentiary significance to the investigation. Numerous search warrants have been executed, cell phone data has been analyzed, and other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. Information was collected from Sebastian's gaming systems and has been analyzed. With help from FBI, vehicles that were placed in the area at or around the time of Sebastian's disappearance have been accounted for. These videos and all electronic evidence has already been reviewed and is often being reinvestigated. So I mean, they have everything. So what's going on now in the investigation? The search for Sebastian has not stopped. Every day, tips and leads are investigated. People are being interviewed and re-interviewed. Evidence that has been reviewed once already is being gone over again. We continue to ask residents in the area of the search to keep your eye on your property to see if anything may have been moved or displaced. Is this a place where a child could have hidden? If you have property that has ledges or holes that a teenager might find interesting, you can search. Sorry. You can't search yourself. Please contact the tip line and we can have someone check it for you. If you know Sebastian and have any information about him, what he likes, how he acts, and what you think could be relevant, let us know. We know how many people are so invested in getting Sebastian home. We will update this information as there have been many developments. Please use the tip line 1-800-TBI-FIND to provide any relevant information you may have, or you can send your tips to tips@tbi.gov. Please do not send tips to our social media pages. Finally, we are extremely grateful to so many members of the Sumner County community for the time, attention, and prayers being offered to help find Sebastian. The members of multiple law enforcement communities, emergency management personnel, wildlife organizations, so many other groups, along with the very generous businesses and individuals who have provided well wishes for Sebastian, along with food, water, and other comforts to searchers. All of these contributions are so greatly appreciated. Thank you. So here are all of the pictures of Sebastian. Yeah, everybody gets some stuff wrong here and there. I think it's important whenever you get something wrong that you just admit that you got something wrong. It doesn't need to have like a whole freaking uproar about it. I feel like the back and forth, the drama is worse than the initial person saying something. I was I've seen like 4 or 5, 6 different people pull up something that was said on a live stream now and be like, "Look how disgusting it was that these people said this." And then they're playing the clip to audiences that are double the size of the audience that it was initially said in front of. And I'm like, how does that help? How does it help to spread that disgusting statement to 7 times the people or 10 times the people instead of it just letting it stay on that channel and fester and gross out that audience and let people make their own decisions to leave or not leave instead of freaking spreading it all over the internet worse. I just don't get it. Yeah, green hearts. Thank you guys. This is probably one of my favorite pictures of him with the puppies. Mostly because I love puppies. Katie has public-facing pictures of Sebastian on her Facebook that had never been published. None of Chris. Interesting. Thank you, Phil. So, that brings us to let's see. Yeah, I do too. I love the puppy pics. All right. This one. So this one is from this morning, yesterday afternoon. This one is updated then last night. So it just says Sumner County Sheriff's Office will be holding an update on the missing autistic Hendersonville teen Sebastian Rogers. Tuesday, though the agency does not have any new developments to report. On Monday, SCSO's Chief Deputy Eric issued a statement announcing there will be a complete media update for the public on Tuesday at 11 a.m. CST. Included in the announcement was the statement, "At this time, we do not have no new developments to report. However, we understand the importance of keeping the public informed." Well, I'm glad that you understand that importance, and I hope that by keeping us informed, you mean answering some of the ridiculous questions that we all have, because they might seem ridiculous, but at the same time, a lot of the things that I'm hearing, it's plausible and could have happened. Could have happened. A lot of stuff, right? Especially the way that we watch these cases, we know. I mean, anything at this point is on the table as long as they don't take things off the table. And that's where it's frustrating, because we only have these parents to listen to and try to figure out what's going on. So, the investigation remains ongoing. On February 26th, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Sumner County home, leading to a large-scale ground search that resulted in first responders covering about 2,000 miles in the effort to find him, TBI reports. Last week, Rogers' biological father told Fox 17 News that he and his boy's mother and stepfather met with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and when asked if there was any new information, he stated, "Not that I can discuss." So it was actually just him and her. I believe that he met, like, he was on a video conference, I believe, because he was actually still in Memphis. Um, so that, from what we know anyways, or wherever he traveled for his new work, where he's like at the Yogi Bear campground or some crap. I don't know. So the SCO has previously stated that the case is being investigational status has shifted from the search status, and as the agency scaled back. Authorities continue to accept and follow leads. Last month, investigators searched a Kentucky landfill but found no traces of the teen. So that was just a quick search. They were only there for one day. You think that this has to do with CP's custody case if Sebastian was going to testify, also their bad marital relationship? Chris does not like Sebastian, obviously. See, and we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. Yeah, the intentionally cruel to a child to do that. I do think so too. Oh, I know, the snake. Is that what you guys are talking about? Whenever they said about taking away the snake, I instantly thought about Lori taking away JJ's dog. You can't just take away children with disabilities, especially animal, but even kids without disabilities. Like, I couldn't imagine right now being like, "Hey, you know this dog that you've had your whole life, or this animal that you've had, since it was little? Yeah, so it's gone now. I just decided that we're gonna send Peaches to the puppy mill." Like, what? You don't you can't do stuff like that. It's messed up. Yeah, they said that he was on medication, but they wouldn't say what he was prescribed due to HIPAA reasons, which is ridiculous. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, if someone if someone were to ask me on a live stream what medications my children took, I probably wouldn't wanna say. There's probably no doubt in my mind that if you wanted to know, um, specific medications that my children took, that I would probably tell you to go pound sand. 'Cause why do you need to know that? Right? Why does the whole world need to know that? But also, I would think the same way, though, about saying that he wears a diaper to bed or that he wears pull-ups. Like, that would also be information that I wouldn't have revealed, and so, to me, they kind of fall in the same thing, like, it's very personal, and it just shouldn't have been shared to begin with. So, you don't know. Even if we buy Forrest Gump's Forrest Gump's? Is that what you're calling Chris? Is he Forrest Gump? That's rude to Forrest Gump. Swat on the buttocks. There's obvious cruel psychological, yeah. Hi, Just Amber. Do you think it's possible she locked him out when she finally went looking for him, found him in the pond, and panicked? Now they're covering it up. Honest to God, Amber, everything is on the table until TBI starts taking things off. Yeah, Michelle After Dark found out that they only drained the pond near the school where the footprints were found. There's another pond at the construction site. Interesting. Yeah, they just need to say life-sustaining meds and upgrade his Amber Alert to make it medical critical. Right. You're embarrassed to admit it, but when mean people do mean things to children, like taking their pets, it makes me feel mean to the adult. I totally get that. They did so much to demean him on so many of the interviews. Yeah, disparaging your own child is not forgettable. Or unforgivable, sorry. We are having a dyslexic day to boot, you guys. I can't. I'm very dyslexic today. So, I wanted to read off some of the things that Seth told us in one of these interviews, just to remind you guys what we have found out about Sebastian from Seth so far. And so somebody had made a post, basically saying, like, a summary of what Seth said. And so one of the things that he wanted cleared up was that Sebastian was in regular classes, but was in a program called Why We Try. That program allowed Sebastian to have more time on schoolwork and have less questions. He doesn't have a lot of shoes because his feet are growing. He has an old pair of tennis shoes, a new pair of tennis shoes, and a new pair of boots that are all at Katie's house. Seth has no idea why the number of shoes Sebastian has is so secretive. Seth did say that he wasn't 120 pounds. This is the interview that he said he was between 106 and 108. And like I said, since then, Duchess has confirmed with Katie, based on his previous checkup, that he was 113 pounds. You're dyslexic every day. Dyslexia. Oh, kills me. So Sebastian was diagnosed with a chromosomal deletion syndrome as a baby, but he wasn't diagnosed until October of last year with autism. So he does have an iPhone. It was left at home. Now, they said that it was locked down from apps and the internet, although Seth says that when his phone was not locked down and he was at his house, he would watch Minecraft videos on his phone on YouTube. Now, I'm going to tell you from experience. My son has an iPhone, and I used all of their lockdown settings. I'm going to tell you something. It still was not locked down all the way. And I even bought an outside an outside app to try to lock down different things on his phone, and it still was not completely locked down. Okay, and so I wanna know how they were locking it down, because iPhone itself is against basically, people censoring material and things like that, and so they make it very difficult to completely lock down iPhones. Androids, no problem. We were able to lock down absolutely everything on an Android, but iPhones are extremely difficult. And if he was getting on YouTube to watch Minecraft videos, there's a very good chance that he also could have been getting on YouTube to watch videos on how to get around the lockdown parts of his iPhone. Keep in mind that he may be autistic, he may have a chromosomal deletion, but he also has the fact that he is 15 years old. And a lot of kids with autism are extremely good with devices. So please keep that all in mind. I still think that the internet is a possibility that they tried to throw out without even thinking about it. Right. And kids also could utilize Google Chromebooks at school. That may have been an option as well. Yeah. I think that there is, yeah. Yep. Androids are a lot easier to lock down. It's okay, Lip Lock, I totally understand. I will definitely pray for her. Oh my goodness. Absolutely, Lip Lock. Okay. And so let's see here. When Sebastian is at Seth's, he FaceTimes Chris's daughter a lot, or she FaceTimes him. So even just the fact that he has access to FaceTime and things like that. Okay. How locked down is he really? When Sebastian is running, he likes to run like Naruto, Naruto. I have no idea how to say that. Sebastian had been teaching, or Seth had been teaching Sebastian how to cook, shop, find things at the grocery store, things like that. He was trying to teach him how to be a successful child, like how to be able to eventually live on his own, I think is his goal, right? Sebastian likes math. The only thing that he asked Seth for Christmas was to see his grandparents in Texas. He last had spoke to Sebastian on the Thursday after school. It was a short conversation about school and his day. Seth would not call him on Katie's weekends because he didn't want to interfere with their time. So he would talk to him throughout the week leading up to it, but he would not talk to him on the weekends. I know it's frustrating to be 0 closer to finding Sebastian today than back on February 25th. All we have learned is that Sebastian was living a super crappy life, right? Southern, you ain't kidding. Like this kid had a horrible based off of what we can see, right? We don't know for sure, but based off of what we can surmise from the details that we have been given and the things that we are perceiving to be true. I guess is how we should really say that, right? We are perceiving that his life was not good. Seems like the mother added yeah, she added that bang later. Because I think they were trying to answer questions that were brought up in the different interviews. I've had that opinion my entire time. You know, they wanted to like after every interview they listened to the feedback and then they changed details. Okay. So, where was I at? So, Seth says that Sebastian has an honest smile and an old soul. He said the closest thing to hiding Sebastian would do at his house was reading with a flashlight under his bed. He always knew he was there, though. Sebastian has his fishing and sportsman license, and he loves to fish. So then he answered to the rumor about the bedwetting issues at Seth's house. He said that he did not wear pull-ups at his house. He had issues apparently at Katie and Chris's house and was using the bathroom, and he would often have pull-ups on when he would get to Seth's house. He would tell him to go take those off. Sebastian was taught to always have his phone, wallet, and house key. Seth was not aware that Sebastian liked Taylor Swift. Sebastian has an iron deficiency and bruises easily. He's supposed to take supplements in the morning and at night. Seth has never seen signs of abuse on him, and Sebastian has not mentioned that he was abused to Seth. Well, we did find out later about the belt incident. He is not obsessed with flashlights, but he has been taught that they are important to keep on hand in case of bad weather. So Sebastian is capable of staying at home responsibly for extended periods of time during the day. He does have a lazy eye, and his glasses are to correct that. His eyesight has gotten worse as he's gotten older. He puts his glasses on any time that he gets out of bed. His glasses have not been located, so we are to assume that he has his glasses with him. He just bought himself a new student ID. When he grows up, he wants to work with animals. Seth does not believe that he would go on an adventure with a friend. He believes if he wanted to do that, he would go with him. He believes in order for Sebastian to get into a vehicle that he would have had to know the person or be forced. He has never run away before. He has never left with a friend without anyone knowing. Sebastian was already enrolled in a school district that Seth lives in to go to school with him in preparation for his move. He is directionally challenged. Sebastian does have Seth's number memorized. He had not taken any money with him, but his money was found tucked in his room in an ATM that he had made. Every weekend Seth has with him is a good moment. Every day is a good moment. And every time he gets to teach him something is a good moment. So that was just a lot of positive things about Sebastian. I feel like we don't hear the positive things about him nearly enough. And so I just wanted to make sure that I read down through that. You're having a hard time believing anything that KP and CP are saying because of all the lies. I know. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. They've definitely changed their stories a lot. Okay, so the Cajun Navy, I did make a video about that yesterday. So let me show you guys the video that I made. And so basically what happened, and actually let me go to Michelle After Dark. Let me go to Michelle After Dark because she clips more of it. I should have clipped like literally 10 more seconds and I didn't. And I apologize for that. But let me go to Michelle After Dark's video from this morning because she does clip the rest of what Crime Sleuthin had call-wise. And so here is the link to this video. Let me get this for you so that you can watch the full 11 minutes. Michelle After Dark, she always gives us amazing insight on these cases. I absolutely love the way that she thinks about things. She really does keep an open mind as far as everything. You know, you're not going to see her take one side or the other. She just looks at it all in one of the more factual ways that she can. Or I guess like she takes things and she just analyzes it in a way that my mind doesn't necessarily always jump to. So she pulled this clip from Crime Sleuthin and she discusses this briefly, but I also clipped this, but I did not clip long enough.
They didn't back out because of threats, no. They're just regrouping. Regrouping because they're good at regrouping, all right. But they're not saying what they're doing next. They're not saying.
Do I know what happened? We on to something. That's why we're getting followed. That's why we're getting threatened. And that's why we're getting told threatened to leave.
So they're on to something. That's why they're getting threatened. Well, who are they getting threatened by? They're not getting threatened by YouTubers.
So I don't know if this guy was initially trying to say, that they were blaming these threats on JLR or something. But my thing is, like, they're making these negative posts about JLR, then they have this phone call with her, right? And what motivation would JLR have to stop you from finding Sebastian? That's my thing. That's my thing. It just doesn't make sense. It does not add up.
Why didn't they just call the cops? Why didn't they just call the cops like they did on JLR? Who wasn't threatening them? He was just sitting there minding his own business. He didn't threaten them, and they called the cops on him. So genuinely, if they were getting threatened, they would have had the cops. They would have had the cops. Even more so in this next statement.
Do we know what happened? No. Do we have a theory that we believe is, the most reliable theory that we're pretty sure is what happened? Of course. Can we get to where the body is, we think?
Can we get to where the body is, we think?
That's why we keep getting shot.
That's why we keep getting shot.
They know where the body is.
Then he goes on to say, let me skip past her for a second here.
Where the body is. Do we know that Sebastian's dead? Okay. All right. Well, that's news to everybody. They know where the body is. That's why they're getting shot. Who's shooting at them? He changed it to threatened.
Yeah.
Right?
You just call the cops.
If you were being shot at, you call the cops, wouldn't you? Yeah.
And all kinds of follow and everything else. We know that we're in the right area. We just can't get access to that area.
So they can't get access to that area where they know his body is because they're being shot at. They were chased off. Well, if you know where the body is, why haven't you called it in to the cops? The actual cops who can get a warrant. They can bust in with a SWAT team if they wanted to. So if you were genuinely helping and not just soliciting publicity and with publicity comes donations.
Yeah.
If you're not just doing that, you'd have just quietly called the cops and had the cops check it out. You'd have led the cops right to where you believe you know where Sebastian's body is. So no one would have been able to threaten you because they could have had a whole SWAT team there. So
yeah, so that's kind of her take on that. And again, here's the video that Michelle did. And then in my video yesterday and in her video here, she has From Crime Sleuthin's original, if you want to hear the entire thing. But it's just, it's one of those situations where it's like, I don't know. My opinion of the United Cajun Navy at this point is not good. Basically, the first day they came, they were collecting donations, they were doing all the things, and then they had to back off. And then whenever JLR called them out for the fact that they had to quote unquote regroup and that they were pulling out and things like that, and he began telling people not to donate to them because he thought that they were a scam, basically. So donations just like literally halted. And, there were some people who were still donating water and food and things like that, but for the most part, it just halted. And then next thing you know, the United Cajun Navy, started being threatened and all these different reasons why they couldn't. Oh no, first they canceled for weather. So they canceled the first day they had everybody sign up. The people who did sign up started receiving obscene amounts of emails and things like that, and getting, all those things. And then the second day they showed up, that's whenever we seen that issue with the dog hitting on the spot where they're saying that there had been a body at some point. I don't know. That's debatable. The next day they canceled because there was a slight drizzle. The day after that, they canceled because they were being threatened. And then they pulled out to regroup, things like that. But I really, honest to goodness, think that it's because once JLR said don't donate, there was no money in it for them. And then they pulled out. And now they're making all these excuses. Like now they're being shot at. they're being shot at. They're being harassed and all these things. And it's like, where is the proof of you being shot at? Where did that happen? And why? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but they pulled out because of all these threats. Dolly had went home. Freaking JLR had went home. Bullhorn Betty's car had broke down. Like, who was allegedly there shooting at people that were trying to search? And then they put out that post saying that JLR was armed and dangerous. JLR is a lot of things, but I don't think he is armed and dangerous. And they put out other lies and statements and things like that about him, and he basically sent them a cease and desist. They took down their post about him and things like that, but it's just I don't know. Yeah, they're very unprofessional. Could you imagine in a million years if Texas EquiSearch would come out here and be like, we couldn't get to the body because we were being shot at with no proof? Or saying that they were going to go search somewhere and then they collect money and resources and then just disappear. Dolly was going to hit them with their unarmed umbrella. Armed and dangerous. UCN fluff. They are wanting people to beg them back. Oh my God, no. The locals are searching still, with or without them. I think part of the reason that they canceled that last day, because they canceled an hour, or no. It was, I keep forgetting that they are on a different time zone than me. They canceled 6 minutes after they were supposed to start. And I really, honest to goodness, think it's because nobody showed up. Because for the not UCN search, there was over 40 people that attended. And I'm wondering if the UCN search, nobody came. And so they were embarrassed. And so they left. Period. That's my opinion of it. I'm not saying that's factual. That's how I'm seeing it. And that's my opinion of it. They might be a 501(c), but a 501(c) just means that their money is accounted for. It just means that their money is accounted for. It doesn't mean that they're on the up and up. Just means that they all make salaries off of their thing. Like I think somebody pulled up, they make $85,000 a year for if they have a boat and stuff like that. Where does that come from? I know. You think he misspoke with the word shot and then threatened. You can hear him stumble on that road. And you're that's very possible, right? But if they're being shot at or threatened to be shot at and things like that, where's the police report? I went back and listened to the dispatch, right? There's no UCN calling the police for dispatch for being shot at or being threatened with guns and things like that. Not even whenever JLR was there, but definitely not after JLR left. No proof. I would love to see the proof of it. I mean, and then to say that they know where his body is at and they were getting ready to get there, but then they started getting shot at and threatened. Like, come on. We don't even know that Sebastian is dead. Why are you out here saying to a YouTuber of all people? Why are you on the phone with anybody, not family? On the phone with anybody, not family, telling them that you know where a child's body is. Are you kidding me? Did you tell that information to Seth? Did you tell that information to Sumner County Police or the TBI? You're telling a not family member that there's a child's body somewhere that you know where it is. And as you were getting to it, maybe they thought the drizzle was the bullets, Pinocchio. If they're holding information back because of their ego, it shows how much they actually want to help, right? It's extremely unprofessional. Extremely unprofessional. And that's my issue. 5013C does not legitimacy make. Anybody can apply for a 5013C. Anyone. Trust me, I have known some pretty freaking shady snake in the grass characters that have had 5013Cs that were getting ready to have the intention to defraud communities before. And Lip Block No More knows exactly what I'm talking about from back whenever I first started. We've seen it. Anybody can get it. Very unprofessional in this situation. You don't know about other cases, right? They might be amazing. They might have divisions of their group that is absolutely amazing. Right? Let me get that straight. They might be great with rescue after hurricanes or, going out to help the public after hurricanes and helping clean up and helping do all those things, right? They might be absolutely phenomenal and amazing with that type of stuff. But searching for a missing child is not it. And being professional surrounding it is not it. Yeah, 5013C means not it, just means that it's public, right? They just have to be open with where the money's going. It becomes public. So let me see what else we got here. Well, so as far as it turning into a Summer Wells case, so the only real the chaos surrounding the Summer Wells case, I think, is what people are more worried about. But all of that can be corrected. All the police have to do is just start clearing up details. They need to just start being forthcoming with some of the details in the case. I'm not saying tell us everything, but the way to stop the landslide of misinformation is to just come out and tell us information. Now, the great news is Chris and Katie seem to have realized that going online on social media is bad, right? And so it's not going to continue in that aspect. They're doing their interviews now with professional reporters. That's great. Edited clips of themselves. It controls the flow of the misinformation and things like that. Seth is doing what he needs to do to keep us talking about Sebastian. I know some people are frustrated that Seth is still going from channel to channel to channel to channel doing interviews. I have seen some pretty harsh comments towards him, saying that they're getting annoyed with him now, saying sorry, not sorry, but I think that he's just doing this for attention at this point. I've seen a lot of disgusting type of comments directed towards Seth, but I'm going to tell you something. The minute that Seth stops doing interviews, I'm going to tell you right now, especially especially with no updates in this case. The minute that Seth Rogers stops doing interviews about his missing child, the minute every single one of you in this chat moves on. Because there will be nothing new. No new details, and everybody is going to move on to this case. I'm going to show you. This is the next one that everybody is going to move on to. I already see it starting. Because we can't cover 2 cases at once. We can't do 2 cases at once. If we could, then whenever I go live about something else, I would still have 600 people in my audience. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. It's YouTube algorithm suicide whenever you are doing well and having people respond to a case to all of a sudden cover a different case. And so people are going to start slowly easing you guys into this case the minute that Seth stops responding. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Yeah, or people will say Seth is being sus if he's being too quiet. This case, though, Locum I covered it last night. Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Presser is at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern. We still have another hour, you guys. I still have so much to talk about, though. Yeah, you've moved on from Summer's case, sadly, because you're just waiting for updates. You can't take the drama anymore. They did a 3-hour interview with analyst? Like, the behavior analysis? Like, or behavior panel or whatever? Or who? With who? I'm curious, Kit. I want to know. Oh God, I hope it's not Pinocchio. Don't say that, because I really want Sebastian to just come home. They're going to find him. Here's the thing. It took 6 months or so. It was a little bit over 6 months to find Kaylee Jones, to track her internet movements and to be able to track her IP addresses and people that it took like a little bit over 6 months for them to track everywhere and everybody she was talking to, because social media takes so long to give their warrants out and things like that. And if he ran away, I really think that we could be a couple months out, but I don't think it's going to take years. Yeah, Caleb Harris and Jillian Kelly and Veronica Butler. Local My Life covered this last night. It's a really freaking weird case, you guys. These women drove their car. So the pastor's wife drove the other woman to go for a supervised visit with her children. Okay. Drove them, was driving her to go see the children. Their car was found here. Middle of freaking nowhere. There's nothing here. There's literally nothing here. And they're gone. Vanished. No clue where they are, but they've been missing for several days now. So the police, this is in Oklahoma, by the way. The police came out, though, and here he is. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations. Here he is, giving an update, telling us what to look at and what not to look at in this case. How hard is that? It's not. Oklahoma, right on the Kansas and Oklahoma line. And so Locum, I covered this last night. She was the first person I seen cover this case. Could be wrong, but she was the first person I seen that I follow. They covered this in depth, not just a flyer shared, not just the basic information, but an in-depth cover of this. And she did a great job. She really deep dived down through it, took us to the map. She had everything plotted out, different things, So really, I mean, go watch this video, not right now, but later. Go watch this video. And then she gave the police updates on Caleb Harris as well. And so lots of information there, though. Really great live that she did. Really great live. This is the Local My Life. This is my buddy Loco. Loco. But again, like I said, the minute that Seth stops, there's been so many cases this year already, you guys. And it's just going to keep going. And the internet moves so fast. 1 week away on YouTube is like a whole year. Yeah, she did wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Right. I'll put it in the description. I'll put Loco's video in the description. That way you guys can find it after this. But so we're still 1 hour out. Let me get this in the description real quick. Okay. So that is in the description now. So that way afterwards you guys can find it. Oh, could you imagine if everyone stayed on one case though? You're right. But if his goal is to keep people looking for his child, as a parent, you want people to keep talking about your child. You want faces to keep, or for our eyes, for 728 that are in here right now, eyes to be on Sebastian Rogers. Law enforcement found a purple sweater with Homer Simpson on it out by the pond during the initial search. I'm surprised there hasn't been questions about it in the interviews. God bless me. I did not know that, Ringo. Very interesting. Thank you, Angela. Welcome, by the way. Yeah, I really hope, Pinocchio, I hope that they say something other than we're just looking, right? Don't get me wrong. Coming out and telling us that we're looking is still important, but I really hope that they say more than that. Yeah, Ween baby, that does happen a lot. You're really not getting your hopes up for this presser. I mean, they did tell us that they don't have new information, but hopefully, like, they answer questions at least. Like, can you at least tell us that it was a trash truck and not flashlights? Can you clear up that? I mean, there's so many different things that we can hopefully hopefully have cleared up. So, I do wanna play this interview. Let's see. This is off of T-Rev 757, and he had Seth on the other day. And so this is an interview that I have not watched yet from Seth. It says it's 1 day ago. So I do want to listen to that for a little bit. I'm going to put it at 1.25 speed. And so if it's going fast, it's not because he is talking weirdly or you know, speaking fast. It's just because I sped up the video. So I do want to be clear about that. So here is the link to this video. I'm going to pin it at the top of the chat. We have this one and like one other one that we haven't watched yet. Sleuth, so since they did an Amber Alert, that would tell me that they're not handling it necessarily as a runaway. It's being handled as an Amber Alert. So however Tennessee handles Amber Alerts, I mean, we see how they're handling Summers. That's the same way that they're handling this one. So let's see here.
Wow.
Trying to keep Sebastian's army going.
And I just want to tell you, my heart's with you. We've been praying. I try to say a prayer every stream. And I seen this interview last night with you and Pascal. And I was just, I don't know, man. It hit me emotionally because you said some things in there just that got to me at the end. And you talk about these things with God, and I feel like I just came closer with God these last 2 years of my life, and I just, that got to me when you were talking about that specific aspect of it.
The press conference is at 11 a.m. Central Time, Prying Paula. So it is noon Eastern Standard. We still have 1 hour until the press conference. As soon as it comes on, I will definitely show it, though. Just want to listen to this interview that we have not heard yet on this channel. I have been playing down through all of them as they kind of come out, minus, I think, one that I skipped because it was 5 hours long. But for the most part, we've been listening to all of them. So I know, Kimberly Wells, that case is crazy. Very crazy.
And I'm here, my platform's here for you, for Sebastian Rogers, your baby boy that you're searching for every day. I did share the GoFundMe. I have it pinned up top, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody in chat. Make sure that you can go and show this man any love. I don't care if it's $1, a penny, it doesn't matter. It's pinned up top, the GoFundMe for Seth Rogers. He is out here diligently working.
His GoFundMe is almost to $20,000 now. So he has been getting a lot of support from the communities and stuff like that. I know some of the channels are sharing his Cash App. That picture is from him at the glasses, getting new glasses. Like he was trying on different pairs and they had taken that picture. So that's why it still has the sticker on it, because that's what that photo is from. Yes, 1 hour until the press conference. So we still have 1 hour.
Every hour that he possibly can to search for his son. And have you learned of any new possible sightings at all?
Not yesterday and today, but I got my private investigators working on it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out here that with Katie, have you been in contact with Katie at all as far as, because I love the way that you said it would be, great if one person's here, we'd split up, you'd figure searching and covering all these different areas, you'd be able to do that. Is that even going on with you, Katie and Chris? Are you guys meeting or talking at least about where you're searching so you don't cross each other's paths and, search the same place twice?
No, the last time I spoke to him was Thursday after I made it back to Clarksville. He wanted me to drive back to Nashville to do a interview on TV with him, Katie, and me. And I told him I think about it. I just never reached back out to him.
Interesting. Is that because of and I want to ask you this, is it because of what you heard on that Smiley channel, the interview?
Because it's those things, man. That's my flesh and blood.
Yes, sir.
Could you imagine hearing that your child was hit with a belt on somebody else's channel, like that was not knowledge that happened, or that CPS never told him that there was an investigation open? That would really upset me too. I could not imagine finding that information out that way. I would be furious. And I know that he is, but he has been doing a phenomenal job keeping himself composed throughout this. But I have a feeling that after everything is all said and done, once Sebastian is home safe, that he's going to use some of this funding that he's gotten to make some heads roll as far as like why things didn't happen and why things were not revealed to him and things like that. That needs to be pursued legally against CPS, in my opinion. Like I don't know. Yeah. Well, so Bruce W., we did go over that paperwork. But again, those are allegations in a divorce statement. We don't know how truthful that is to that, and we are still waiting on the snail mail documents to see what the other side of the things are. To my knowledge, I'm not sure if Seal is back yet from her doctor's appointment, but to my knowledge, she has not yet received the documents that we have ordered from the court records. We know what was put out there anonymously on Facebook, but it was just a written statement by Katie. It does not have any court markings or anything like that on that statement. And so we don't know if it's truthful, not truthful, or what's happening. So it's just a statement at this point. Like I said, I did send for the documents, and we still have not seen everything. But I am going to say a parent disciplining a child versus a step parent disciplining their child is a very different story. Yeah, Katie just took a page out of Proudfoot's playbook. Right.
Yes, sir. I agree. And it must have been, and another thing that touched me from this interview you said specifically is that you had to find out through the internet.
Through the podcast. Nobody should get information like that through the podcast.
No way. I agree with you on that. And that's another part of this interview that got to me. And I know we're not even close to that part, but you specifically said in this interview that you had to find out through that damn podcast that your son had some running with him and he was hitting him with the belt, etc. And I hate to even bring that up. But I can't say I blame you for not wanting to.
You know, if they want to search, that's fine. You know, but as for an interview with all three of us, I think that's a little too late right now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I do interviews to keep my son's name out there, his picture out there. When I listen to their podcast, they don't talk about Sebastian like I do.
I agree.
That affects me a type of way. You know?
Yes,
and it definitely puts us not on the same page. You know, and I hate to say that because I know at some point in time, DBI will hear this, law enforcement will hear this, and Chris and Katie and the Proudfoot guy, Bower Sox family will hear this. But
we're with you, sir. I hate to say it, but we're with you. And a lot of people feel, the same feelings here towards this whole entire situation. I mean, I got to ask you this about this restaurant. Was there anybody else in this footage that law enforcement may have not questioned that you're suspicious about? And you don't have to touch up on that if you don't want to, but again,
what they showed me is what I asked, which was I just needed proof of life because I talked to my son on Thursday. I needed proof of life on Sunday. And they showed me a clip of him coming out of the restaurant, getting into a vehicle. You know, and just I gotta see my son again. Freaking.
It's okay, Seth. If you need to take a minute, we understand. And we don't have to do this interview right now. I could wait till you're more mentally prepared. I don't want to, cause any more stress on you. And I know you're doing this for Sebastian.
As a parent, as a father, you are never mentally prepared to go through this. Ever.
This emotion is heavy. Did you find it odd that there was no alarm system there at all?
I don't have an alarm system on my house.
Right.
Where I live. But then again, my son wakes up to go use the bathroom. And when he wakes up, he doesn't turn on the light. But I'll sit there and scare the shit out of him most of the time. You're like, what are you doing? Just I asked, what are you doing? I'm going to the bathroom, Dad. Well, make sure you flush and wash your hands. Any type of noise in my house wakes me up.
Have a good day, Susan. Sorry, I had to get the baby something real quick. You don't blame Seth for not giving up until he is actually found. Right. There's always still that possibility. This boy is safe somewhere. We have zero proof that he's not. I think it would be silly to just assume because he is missing that he is deceased. That's why the statements by the Cajun Navy were so mind-blowing to me because they're like, we know where his body is. Like, what? Get out of here with that. No, TBI has not said that he is deceased. Period. They have not said that at all. Sumner County has not said that. We are still looking for Sebastian. He is missing. He has the ability to be found, not deceased. Welcome to our sleuth family, Skinny. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you coming in to join us and support the channel. I'm looking for my photo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Favorite sleuth family photo. All the gang there. We got to get a picture of Ringo in there still. I think it just might add his beard blowing in the wind at the top. It'll be great. Yeah, you bet the silence keeps him awake now. No, we're assuming that he's been missing over 2 months. That's why they're assuming he is deceased. Has not been over 2 months yet. We are in a situation where, I mean, to assume that he is deceased because he is missing, that's just silly, especially at 15. Now, if he was wandering in the wilderness, if he is out there and walked away that night and wandered off into the woods or something along those lines, yeah, there's a possibility. But even that being said, homeless camps and things like that, somebody could have taken him in and helped him in the homeless camps even. A lot of times they feel bad for teenagers. But I could show you, probably 150,000 teenagers right now that are considered missing that I do not think are deceased. Teenagers, unfortunately, oftentimes, if they run away, they are eventually found. Sometimes maybe not in the best circumstances, but there is a lot of missing teens that I do not believe that are necessarily deceased. Yeah, he's only been missing for 37 days, which is a long time. Very long time. The other thing is we're assuming he's deceased because of the stepfather and biological mother's lack of emotion and the fact that they have been changing their stories. The changing of the stories is definitely a red flag to me. 100% a red flag. The lack of emotion, she could be medicated. We don't know. The stepfather, I think, is just a pompous ass. And that's why people don't like him. But I don't think that being a jerkwad makes you a murderer necessarily, right? There have been things in his past that could point to abuse or different things like that, but it does not mean that he murdered this child. And I hope that one of the things during the press conference that they can clarify for us today is Chris's actual physical location that weekend. For all I know, he cheated on his wife before with Katie. For all we know, he could have been at his other new family's home in an area where he was cheating on Katie with a new potential sixth wife, right? And that's just me speculating. I'm just saying that that's a possibility. And that could be why he doesn't want to say, anything about when he was home last and why he's been away and different things like that, because he doesn't want the public to know that they're getting separated and stuff. It's a possibility. You ran away when you were 15 and my parents didn't report it. You never went back home. You wish they could see you now. Right. Language of horses. And so here's an example of a child who ran away from home and is not deceased. Where are the clothes that he wore at the roadhouse? Probably on his body. On his person. And I guess they're saying that he went missing in the same clothes. Yeah, some people shut down emotions when they suffer tragedy. Sometimes it's like a shell protecting you. Also, the father is, an asshat. Exactly. I don't think there's anything so far that says he did anything. There's not. You're right, B-Tim. Absolutely. And so I'm sorry, but I will stay in the realm of possibility that Sebastian has the ability to come home safe and alive until somebody proves it with evidence from TBI, from Sumner County Police, from somewhere that he is no longer alive. I will continue on this channel, at least. My opinion will stay that way, that he has the ability to come home. I will continue to say that 10,000 times over, because if he does not have the ability to come home, what's the point? They would have found evidence inside of the home, though. They may never find proof of him until one day, someday, he stumbles across proof. This may end up like Gannon Stalk, in my opinion. They would find evidence of some type of foul play if he is deceased, in my opinion. So, okay, thank you, Stark Jerk. I didn't know that. Jeans and a t-shirt at the roadhouse. He was reported missing in black. Interesting. I missed that. Yeah, you've been wondering if he was cheating. That's why he hasn't told the public yet. It's possible. It's certainly a possibility. Oh, you said stepfather, not the father. Thank you so much for the super chat, beat him. You just seen on Twitter that Nancy Grace is still trying to get Chris to take a poly. Interesting. I don't know. All right, let's go again.
I get it. I get it. I mean, there's questions, man. No questions about, did Sebastian, did his mom, Katie, express any feelings about losing custody at all? Was that a thing that you got custody? Because I heard what you said. You said you were getting him this summer. Was he staying with you for just the summer?
He was supposed to come live with me for the summer, and I got him enrolled in school up here where I live.
Yes, sir.
What we're doing is I'm not getting full custody. We're just switching custodials.
Okay.
So where I was getting him every weekend, now she would be getting him every other weekend, and he would be staying with me. So we're just doing a switch.
Was there combativeness to that switch at all, or was it smoothly done? Would you say on your end?
I was open for it. As soon as Chris brought it up to me, I was like, okay, let me get him enrolled in school.
Yeah, truth, not feelings. Maybe that's why Katie is so stone-faced. Maybe she found out that her husband was cheating on her and that her son went missing in the same couple of days. She may have already knew, based off of the fact that they were saying that there was turmoil in the relationship. They were asking for Sebastian to go live with Seth, all of those different things, right? There could have been a situation where she was already aware that this was going on. I mean, if they're going to cheat for you, there's a very good chance that they're going to cheat on you. Does that make sense? I've always believed that. A guy on his 5th marriage is not necessarily the most faithful, committed person in the world. So, Seth is presuming they arrived home at 6:39 p.m. Interesting. Yeah, you don't like Nancy Grace. She knows that polys aren't accurate for telling the truth, just what makes you nervous. But would you really be on the phone for 3 hours at the time with a man that you knew was cheating on you? Well, they may possibly be at another woman's house. Well, or the other side of things is, could they have been fighting that night? I still think that there is that aspect of what exactly that evening made Sebastian want to leave if he chose to run away. She could have been on the phone for 3 hours screaming and yelling at Chris. We have no clue. We have no clue. Yeah, abusers abuse, cheaters cheat, period. It definitely sets up for a pattern of behavior.
Yeah, that's just some questions.
I wanted my son to live with me. I've always wanted my son to live with me.
Yeah. What did you like as far as the video that you seen? I don't know if you can say or not, but what did you exactly see on the video that you seen with TVI? And you said Katie was there too. What did you see there?
She and Sebastian walked out of Roadhouse and got into the vehicle, and that was what they showed me.
I got you. And did he look happy at all, or in distress? He wasn't in distress, was he?
He's always happy when he's with me. So, he didn't look like his joyous self that he is with me.
Ugh.
But, he's different out there, and I know why now. So, no, it wasn't the normal. It wasn't my normal kid. They may have had a good day, good weekend from their point of view. But it's like when he goes and gets in my truck, when we're leaving dinner, he runs to my truck. On this one, he just kind of walks.
Light up the chat with them green. Yeah, light up the chat with his favorite color, guys. Light it up with them green hearts. For sure, light it up. And we need to keep this word out here about Sebastian. Again, We're talking to Seth Rogers here on the line, and I appreciate him even reaching out in a time like this, especially with Easter. The first thing I did today, Seth, you want to hear what I did? I woke up out of bed. The first thing I Googled was Sebastian Rogers, hoping to see that he was found. This was at around 6 o'clock my time. Seen nothing was updated, came straight in here, went online. We're in this fight with you. We're in this fight with you. And I'm going to cover this until he's found. I don't care what that time is.
Until he's found.
So you always have a platform here.
My life is not complete until I find my son.
I heard you say that on Pascal's last night, and I just looking at you, I connected with you emotionally on what you were saying. And the fact that you were smiling, I've seen people saying in my chat, why is he smiling? He just seen his boy alive on video. That gave him hope for everything that he's been doing this last 30 plus days, that he has hope to find his boy. And that's why he was smiling the way he was.
He's alive. He's alive. And I mean, it's not a current video, but it's like I smile or I cry whenever I watch any of the videos I have of him. I've got videos of him when he was 6 years old opening Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, you know, and it's just like I've had so many news medias want to share more pictures, share more videos. I can't. He said, if I never find my son, these are all I have left of him. These are mine. I understand people want to see them. Like, they're mine, and I don't want to share them.
Seth, we get it to be, man.
Yeah, it's so freaking heartbreaking. So freaking heartbreaking. Yeah, he just sank, hearing that he didn't look like his normal self. I haven't listened to this one yet. This is my first time listening to this interview with you guys, because I was listening to them in advance, but wow. We were also frustrated watching the Pascal interview because we were like, why didn't you ask more questions? Like, he just kind of glossed over it, him and Dolly both. And I really hope that they get into more details during this interview. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Feel that pain, man. I feel that pain. And I hate to ask you this type of question, but I'm only asking it because I want answers. And I hate to freaking ask this, but when you went to search with Chris, did you notice anything on his arms? Any marking, allegedly?
I didn't because I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at him. I had my flashlight out, dude.
Yes, sir.
Out the window, looking to see if there was locks on sheds or, you know, in between houses while we drove. I wasn't paying attention to him.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
I still don't pay attention to him. I'm still out here looking for my son.
Absolutely. Did he have his glasses? And what was his sight range without them? Nearsighted or farsighted? I mean, I think that's important here, especially if he got out on foot.
Yeah, he's got vision like his daddy. I wear glasses or else I can't see anything. So I have nearsighted. I can only see near. I need my glasses to see far.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
If people want to help, I appreciate the Cash App, the GoFundMe, and all that sort of stuff. But if you could just search, you know, no money in the world means anything to me as much as finding my son.
I got that GoFundMe posted, but you heard what he just said. Searching means a lot more. Searching. So if you're in that area, let me know if this is right. Set the Rudder, 126 River Road, Hendersonville, Tennessee, 37075. That's the address.
Yep, we'll be meeting there Monday.
Monday, that address starts as the headquarters?
That's where we're all meeting, in the parking lot. The Rudder said that we could meet there.
Yes, sir.
I have nobody searching tomorrow. I need people to actually enjoy the family that you have. You never know when it's going to be taken away. You're never going to know if you're going to wake up the next day and not ever get to see him again.
No.
Because that's what Easter is about.
Yes, sir.
It's about giving thanks.
I just shared that.
And enjoying the family.
That's what you're right. That's what it's about. Do you know if they are cooperating with law enforcement still when it comes to your son?
From my understanding, they are.
So they haven't lawyered up or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Yes, sir.
But again, everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-mm-mm. Who was eating at the restaurant the night of his disappearance?
Well, on the video, it just shows Katie and Sebastian. They're the ones that came out of the door. You know, it wasn't like they were showing me this for investigative purposes. They showed me this because I requested it in the first week of this.
So this was something that you've been requesting and wanting to see for the longest time now. It felt like a long time because 1 day is a long time right now.
Yes, we are going to show the press conference as soon as it comes up. We still have 33 minutes. Guys, I don't care what your personal opinion is about any of the creators that I have shown their interviews. You're going to be respectful in this chat because this has nothing to do with this creator. It's about hearing Seth's words. If Seth chooses to go on with the freaking Pope, we're going to play that interview too, right? That's what's important. His words, what he is saying. Listen to him. You can block out the other creator in your mind. You can sit there and go, la, 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 la. Every time that creator is talking, I don't care. But be respectful while Seth is talking.
Did CPS discuss with you everything relating to Chris's alleged reprimanding of children and his issue with his ex-wife Nina? I mean, I've been seeing this stuff coming out.
No. And it's like CPS met with us when Sebastian went missing, and they never brought this up. And from my understanding, it's because it's sealed.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Take your time. You take your time, Seth. You take your time, man. That's just quite. There's a lot of questions here that I have that are just on my heart. Like, has police confirmed if there's CCTV of Chris in Memphis at the same time his phone was there to you, or is that just investigative? And also, what are your thoughts as a trained law enforcement? No scent. What the no scent? Right, leaving the house, except a small hit from law enforcement dogs, which they lost. I mean, I'm confused as someone who's looking at this and seeing all these different things, but there's no suspect, or you know what I mean? Like this is a long time for your boy to be gone, and it just worries me. It worries me.
It worries me every day, but I have to have faith in the system. I work in this system.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to have faith in the system.
Absolutely. And I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that scent being called nothing. I mean, when you hear something like that, that's hope for you. And then that just goes away. I was wondering what the heck that was. How did they lose that scent?
Cringe. We talked about it. Oh, probably about, I would say maybe half hour, 40 minutes ago. I played the clip from Crime Sleuthin had a phone call with them that she recorded and then she released on her panel after the guy was supposed to come on panel with her and then didn't. And then she released the phone call that she had with him. And in that phone call, he was telling her that they pulled back because they were getting threatened, and they were getting threatened because they were onto something, and that they knew where his body was, but they can't get to it because they're being shot at, basically. So, yeah. I know, I agree. I'm happy that he's asking his questions. He was willing to ask the questions that Dolly and Pascal didn't. We had a lot of questions still after both of their interviews. And so he's getting more in depth and digging down into these things. Today we're in the 70s and sunny, and tomorrow in the 30s with snow. It's April. That's crazy. April. Oh, gosh. Is it possible that the mom found him? I don't know. I mean, honest to goodness, I think that anything could be a possibility. It's just about where are we as far as the realm of reality falls. What realistically could have happened to him? You know, I mean, it's possible that so many things happened.
Has it been confirmed exactly? Because I heard you touch up on it in the Pascal interview.
I was told one thing I was told by a person with the dog that they hit on a scent. But then later on, I was told that it wasn't what they thought it was. So
Interesting.
they're telling me it's information that was false, and I have to go with what they're telling me.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't say there's not much you can put to that. I'm wondering why they searched that landfill. Like Nancy Gray said, I wonder what the affidavit says about the landfill. Have you got a clear answer on that from law enforcement at all?
It's still an active investigation.
Yeah, close to the vest.
So I'm not going to get any information for this stuff. The only way I'll get any of this information is we find Sebastian. That's it.
I think people are going, that's a little bit wild. Sebastian been put in protective custody. Seth would know about that. He would have been contacted, I feel like.
If he was in protective custody?
Absolutely.
I would think so.
Does Sebastian have any allergies or foods or allergies to foods or any medications at all that people should know about if he's out there?
I don't think he has any allergies to food. I know he is allergic to grass. That's about all I can think of for his allergies.
So for grass, I got.
So I'm not sure, Sluice, did you hear that on this interview? I can go back and try to find it on my phone. I know that you and somebody else was saying that a second ago, but I wasn't sure if it was something that you heard while I was getting her a drink or what happened. But I know that on the Pascal one, I thought that he said that he looked like himself. So I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
I mean, when he was growing up.
Hey guys, don't forget also closed captions are always available on my live streams. If you need closed captions during the interview, or I'm sorry, during the press conference, anything, closed captions are available. All you have to do is tap the CC either in the top right of your screen or in the bottom right, depending on your phone type. But there is closed captions that you can pull up during the live streams on this channel.
But when he's meat, he didn't like meat at all. No chicken, no steak. His favorite sandwich is peanut butter and jelly, still is. You know, his favorite pizza is just straight up cheese pizza.
Was Seth on cam at work when he went missing? You mean Chris or Seth? Somebody said was Seth at work or on cam at work when he went missing?
Yeah, I was on 6 of them because I was actually in jail working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here's another
Not to mention, besides that, I have 65 inmates that can tell you where I was at too.
That's a hard job for you to deal with. What that is? What do you know? Did they show you the timestamp on that video?
Which video?
The video from your son at the restaurant. Did they show you the timestamp exactly, like the time?
I didn't see a timestamp.
Interesting. Did they even tell you what time? Did they say, "Hey, Seth, he was found. We seen him here at this time"?
1 second.
Yeah, it's wild.
My Bluetooth died. Sorry about that.
No, you're absolutely fine. You're absolutely fine. I was just curious about that. If they said, "Hey, Seth, this is the time we seen him leaving at this restaurant," or it showed the timestamp on the video, because I feel like that part would be important too.
You know, it probably would have been, but I was
happy to see him.
I was just happy to see my son. And I kick myself in the ass now every day because there's other things that I want to look at it again. I want to watch it again.
And that's the only thing you can think about. I do have to ask you this one. Can you share with us some memories or moments that stand out to you about your son? Because I feel hard to get that when I'm listening to the other side. It's like I'm hearing these bad things and he lies and he's this and he's that. Since I have you and you have so much great to say, and I love the way that you put these things. Again, I just want you to share maybe some memories or moments that stand out to you about him.
Where do I start? When he was an infant, child would sleep 4 hours a day. That was about it. He was normally away for 18 to 20 hours a day. Always going, started crawling everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And he would just laugh. I was an infant. he would just laugh. I mean, he would just sit there and have laughing fits for like 15, 20 minutes. It was great. You know, I always loved his laugh. You know, sit there, and the times that he would sit there, he'd be crawling across the floor, and it's just like he would literally just pass out where he's at. Like he's finally so tired that he just goes to sleep, and then sit there and make him a little pallet on the floor, put him on there so he's all nice and comfortable. And then I lay down next to him, and I try to get some sleep. You know, I remember a time that he was young. He was changing a diaper. Katie was very, and I walked into the room, and he literally shot shit out of his ass. Tried to hit me with it. Okay.
No, you're fine.
You know, I mean, these are memories that I remember clear from 14 so years ago. You know, I remember the first time that I woke up, and I heard him in his crib, and I'm like, okay, he's awake. Let's go ahead and make him a bottle and get it ready. And I walked into the living room and smelled at me, and I was like, oh no, this ain't good. Start walking down the hallway to get to his room, and I swing into the bathroom and turn on the shower because I know that he had dug into his diaper and started painting the wall. It was messy.
And I appreciate you sharing those moments with us. And those things are important to me. Those cherishing little moments. I feel like those questions, I haven't heard it. Now, I do want to ask you this, and I know
I took down the flyer because I wanted you guys to see if you want to add to the reward fund for Sebastian, checks can be mailed or dropped off to Reward for Sebastian Rogers, James Brian Lewis at 1300 Division Street, Suite 307, Nashville, Tennessee, 37203. All of the donations that they collect are being held in an escrow account. I'm not sure if we have an updated total so far on that reward fund for information. I'm going to message somebody and see if we can get that information because I'm interested to know how much is in there. Maybe it's something that they will even address during this press conference today. Now, as far as the press conference goes, it's about 20 minutes away still. And they are saying that there is no new information, but it will be a question and answer session. So hopefully the reporters that go to this press conference ask questions that we want to know the answers to. I know that sounds silly, but I feel like the news in general is typically behind the 8 ball as to where social media sleuths are, or YouTube or TikTok or Twitter or wherever. And I feel like they ask questions that we already oftentimes have the answers to. And so I hope that there is somebody there that is able to ask questions that need to be answered. And I hope that TBI gives us answers to those questions instead of just saying, over and over again, like that it's part of their investigation. If not, I do want to say, like, either way, I'm thankful that they're doing a press conference update. So the GoFundMe itself is up to almost 20,000 now, Mike Jetson. And yes, Bomber Girl, last time I heard Seth say it, it was, I want to say it was 2 days ago on Pascal. He said it was at $3,500. And so I don't know, though, if more checks have been received. I mean, if things are going through the mail, it's going to take time to get there. And so hopefully they can update on that. I don't know, Elizabeth K. It's a good question. I think the shoe thing, though, is like we're putting a lot of weight in that, but Katie has said since then that Sebastian would go outside in his socks and she would have to tell him to put on shoes, right? And so that could be a thing also. All right, Kimmy. You gotta like say stuff as your opinion, right? If you want to post stuff, it's okay. But just make sure that you're coming across and posting it as if it's your opinion and not as if it's a factual statement. We don't want to just throw misinformation or statements out there. Like, for example, in my opinion, Katie did it, right? But you can't just come in here and say, Katie did it. Because that's not an opinion statement. It's being posted as a factual information. I have no problem with people expressing your different opinions in this case. I know that there are a lot of people who are watching and listening and things like that who do believe that there is foul play in this case. I will just continue to remain on the side of hope that Sebastian has the ability to come home safe. Motivation is everything. Who had motivation? What was the motivation? The press conference is in about 19 minutes. Miranda Lee. Yeah, we can't be reckless. Don't be reckless. Don't be reckless. You hear this, father. He is devastated as it is. Last thing we want to do is have him be like, I was in Sleuth Mom's audience and everybody in there was talking about the different ways that my son was murdered. Right? Like, no, come on. We don't know that. We do not know.
I can already tell, but I just want to shoot it. It's how has your son's disappearance impacted you and your family emotionally and psychologically, sir? I want people to understand this.
My life has been on hold. You know, I try to tell people there's really no going to sleep. If I sleep, I have nightmares. I wake up thinking I hear Sebastian in my house. I've woken up in my sleep and Sebastian is standing next to my bed. And, you know, he's wearing a white t-shirt and his jammy pants. And it's like, it's not even him at the age of 15. It's him at the age of like 9 or 8. And he's just like, Dad, I'm hungry. Can we have breakfast? And I'm like, I wake up and he's not here. And it's like, and I look over and I've only been asleep for like 20 minutes. And then it's like, well, fuck it. Get up, wash my face, put on clothes, and decide where I want to go search today.
Oh, it's freaking heartbreaking. Thank you so much, B Crumbs, for gifting memberships. Welcome everybody who got a gifted membership. And actually, let's keep that gift train going. Bama Mama was gifted a membership. Welcome. Welcome, Jennifer K. Welcome, Prying Paula, Mike Jetson, and Just Linda. And here is, oops, here we go. Let me get this. Oh, how can I get this? Hold on. I gotta go into the other screen. Pull up my own live stream. Let me just throw 5 more at you. Thank you all for being here to support the channel and to hear about Sebastian. And here's 5 more memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Welcome to the Sleuth family, everybody. Who got them this time? Where are we going? Phil, Miranda Lee, Veronica, Kathleen, and Lori. Welcome to the family. Welcome, welcome. Whoop, whoop. This is one of the best things they ever did was the gifted memberships. I absolutely freaking love it. Instead of just like regular super chats, you get that ability to. Annie Lou gifted 5 more. Let's go. That's awesome. Let's see who got them this time. It's Never a Mannequin, Jenna, KW10, Brandy, and Rhonda. Welcome. That's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you so much, Annie Lou. Thank you, B Crumbs. You ladies are amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. Welcome to the family, everybody. You know? That's great.
I appreciate you sharing that because I think it's important that that people can understand what you're going through with just waking up every day and having to toughen up to go to these places and actually search for your son and what it can do to you emotionally and psychologically. I appreciate you touching up on that. Now, I do want to ask you this. Can you describe the events leading up to your son's disappearance and how you first realized he was missing? Did you get a phone call? When did it happen? When did the shock come to you? When
Beat him with 10 more gifted memberships. That's freaking awesome. Make it rain memberships, you guys. We get the whole audience green for Sebastian. You know, his favorite color is green. Let's turn everybody green. Jennifer Lynn, Nene, No Nope, Kate Epperson, Twinkie, KK. Welcome. Danielle Marie, Crimson Tide, Borders Girl. I'm going to say hello. Oh, your Band-Aid fell off. You okay? You need a new one? Yeah. Okay, we can get you a new one. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, so many members. Go ahead, say hi.
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 You know,
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the family. Huh? Salty C gifted 10 more. Thank you so much, Salty C. Who do we have now? Pandies, Liz, Lexi, Texi, Candace Mom, Lisa, Marley. Who else? Earth Angel, Ashley Oaks, Sunday Tackett. Welcome, guys. This is awesome. Phoenix, Jersey, welcome. I'll be Crumbs with 5 more. You guys are killing me. This is so amazing. Thank you guys all so much for supporting the channel and for gifting memberships. That's so freaking awesome. Who got them this time? I'm just like blown away right now. B Crumbs gifted to Pam, Colleen, Marion, Tracy Jones, and who got number 5? Where's number 5 at? Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Where's number 5?
5.
Who got it?
Huh?
I don't know. It is so cool. Making it green. We're just making it green.
I don't know where it is either.
I don't know where it is either. Yeah, light it up with green hearts, everybody. That's awesome. Whoop, whoop. It is. It's a gift. Here we go. Green, 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 green.
Green 5.
I know. I know. Light it up green for Sebastian. Member for 7 months. Thank you so much, Jenna. So much green. We are 12 minutes from the press conference. 12 minutes out. Almost there. Come home, Sebastian. Absolutely.
I'm just curious about that, and when how you first heard it.
I don't know when the shock came, to be honest.
Hmm.
There's not a defining point. You know, I got off of work at 7 o'clock,
Yes, sir.
went to my truck. You know, to me it was just a normal day. So I'm talking to my coworkers. And I'm like, you know, it's Monday morning, we're off for the next 2 days. You know, so it was like, you know, it was just normal conversation with people. Normal day. You know, go home, get some sleep, you know, try to rest up, see everybody on Wednesday. And I went and got in my truck. And I grabbed my phone. And I think I have a missed phone call or a text message. No voicemail. So I turned around and text message 911. So I call. And that's when I find out from Chris.
So
My son says,
so you first found out from Chris.
yeah.
That's a shitty way to find out. And you find out all this other stuff on the internet the wrong way. Now, people know this, but in general, there is new people that haven't heard of this case whatsoever. So I do like to ask stuff like this because some people don't understand, you know, what is going on right now. They may be new to this case or listening, just tuned in today. What steps have you taken so far to try to find your son? And what has been the response from the community? And I already know, obviously, I know that answer because I've been watching and I've been seeing and spreading the word about this case ever since right after the Madeline Soto case. But what steps, again, have you taken so far to try to find your son? And what has been the response from the community?
Today we had people actually come in all the way from Ohio. I want to thank those people for coming in all the way from Ohio. I mean, that's a pretty long trek to come in just to help for a day. You know, they didn't have to. I appreciate it. We gave them a whole bunch of flyers and asked them to spread them on the way. You know,
that's so awesome of people, man.
There is still good in this world.
There is.
The difference is that there's still a lot of evil.
There is,
and there's a lot of indifference. There are people who do not care.
We've got about 9 minutes until the press conference starts. Yes, we're still listening to this interview until the press conference starts, just hearing Seth's words. And so we are still a few minutes out. I do have the link pulled up. As soon as they start, I will start it.
Agreed. 100%.
Which means the people that were wanting to do good, we have to do better. Because that's what we're fighting in this world.
We are fighting evil every single day. Now, this may be hard question. It may be easy for you, but I know it's going to be hard, obviously. How have you been coping with the uncertainty and not knowing what happened to Sebastian? Like, I don't even understand how you could be coping right now or even holding the phone, better yet speaking.
I'm his voice. For me to give up or for me to quit is to give up on faith that my son is out there somewhere. I taught my son how to be a survivor, and I'm hoping right now that he's doing it. But I can't give up. I have to find him.
Absolutely. I don't know if you want to share. Do you have a personal theory about what you think happened?
I don't. Because there's no evidence that I've been given. And like I said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And I need definite proof to blame somebody for something.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. You got to have something. You can't. That's what I was telling people earlier. You know, I seen people saying, lock this person up or lock that person up. And you got to have evidence and probable cause for that. You can't just go and put somebody in cuffs because they've spanked someone or did something bad. They have to have probable cause and proof of that to go and, you know, arrest someone. But I get what people are saying. I understand when everyone.
Thank you so much, Phil, for gifting 5 more memberships. Where are we at? We've got JJ. I don't even know. JJ. I'm just going to leave your name at JJ. Chronic Pain, Punkette, Michelle Alexander, and Danny. We're gifting memberships by Phil. Thank you so much, Phil. Lighten it up green. That's awesome. I'm actually going to stop this interview here. We're at 33 minutes, 33 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And the reason for that is Nick Barris did upload it's just a short 1-minute clip of him with the police. So I want to show you guys this clip here. Let me switch over 1 second. And we will get Nick Barris pulled back up. So he's going to be live with the press conference. But he did sit down and he did a one-on-one interview with the police chief, Deputy Eric, in this case. And so I imagine he'll release the full interview later. But we do know that this will be coming out. So this is just a 1-minute clip.
All right, Nick Barris here, and I'm with Sumner County Sheriff's Chief Deputy Eric Craddock, talking a bit about an update on the search for Sebastian Rogers. Just, you know, this is the first time we've heard from you in a while, and that's because you guys have been busy investigating.
That's right.
Anything new to report at this stage?
No, sir.
Nothing. 5 weeks?
No, sir.
Just ask me, what is being done at this point? What does the public need to know that you continue to do?
We continue to investigate and follow up on every tip or lead that comes in.
Any evidence of foul play?
There is no evidence to support foul play.
But you can't rule it out necessarily. You're ruling nothing out at this point.
That's right. I'm ruling nothing out.
And as far as the public, what you could ask them to continue to do?
Remain vigilant. If they see something, say something. Call 1-800-TBI-FIND or 615-451-3838 with any tips or leads.
Okay. We'll have much more on this story to come. All right.
So this is just from 15 minutes ago. So this is brand new. Brand new. Yeah, you haven't seen this yet. Brand new. So we're still waiting for the press conference. I am going to play this one more time just so you guys can hear it in case you missed it.
Nick Barris here, and I'm with Sumner County Sheriff's Chief Deputy Eric Craddock, talking a bit about an update on the search for Sebastian Rogers. Just, you know, this is the first time we've heard from you in a while, and that's because you guys have been busy investigating.
That's right.
Anything new to report at this stage?
No, sir.
Nothing. 5 weeks.
No, sir.
Just ask me what.
This is not the press conference. Goodness, no. This is just a one-on-one that Nick did with him. So, not a press conference. This is just a one-on-one that Nick just uploaded. They are setting up for the press conference, though. Oh, goodness. Well, I would be so disappointed. Yeah, we still got 4 minutes for the presser. I would be so disappointed if this was all that we got. That would be crazy.
What is being done at this point? What does the public need to know that you continue to do?
We continue to investigate and follow up on every tip or lead that comes in.
Any evidence of foul play?
There's no evidence to support foul play.
But you can't rule it out necessarily. You're ruling nothing out at this point.
That's right. I'm ruling nothing out.
And as far as the public, what you could ask them to continue to do?
Remain vigilant. If they see something, say something, call 1-800-TBI-FIND or 615-451-3838 with any tips or leads.
Okay. We'll have much more on this story to come.
That was not the press
My
conference.
mom said to Papa Happy Father's Day. I was like, no.
That was not the press conference. Not it yet. That definitely wasn't the press conference either. But they're setting up for the press conference. That was just a short one-on-one exclusive with the Sumner County Chief Deputy Eric. So we're still waiting on the actual press conference to start. Which I am looking for any type of live feed to pop up. We are not there yet. Yeah, no evidence of foul play, but there's an active Amber Alert on him. Make it make sense. Well, some states just do Amber Alerts under different criteria. So TBI, Tennessee in general, they do not have to have evidence of an abduction for there to be an Amber Alert. Whereas some states like Pennsylvania, for example, you have to have vehicle information and different things like that. And Elu, thank you so much for being a member for 26 months. You've been here since the beginning of time. I appreciate that. Oh, geez. Old Yeller, what are you even talking about? Like, the negativity. Why? For what? We're here for a little kid. That's it. That's it. That's all. Let's see. Gotta find the press conference. You know that Nick is supposed to go live with it. Here we go.
Susan Nyland, SUSANNIL.
No, hold on. Now audio boost this right away. Closed captions are also available.
A&D of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. She's the PIO. I also have with me Sumner County Emergency Management Director Ken Widener, KenWiedner. Work from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local and federal resources. We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. As I said before, the investigation remains ongoing. The entire community is deeply saddened by what has occurred. We're all extremely concerned for Sebastian's welfare. I want to encourage the community to stay vigilant, to report anything that they think may be of some significance to the investigation, no matter how minute it may appear to be to you. Please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with any tips, or the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838. We understand the anxiety and the concern that this case has caused in the community. We too share the anxiety and concern for Sebastian. I want to reiterate that we are doing everything we can to find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back. Our commitment to finding Sebastian remains. We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the many individuals who have helped in the search, the many individuals who have called in tips, the many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home. At this time, I'll turn it over to Susan Allen from the TBI.
Thank you, WG. Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. We know how invested everybody is in the search for Sebastian, in finding out what happened to him and bringing him home. And we want to let everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him. At the beginning of this investigation, there was a large land search for him. It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds that were searched. There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work. Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads. We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had, in other jurisdictions, who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then review them. It's important so we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout. At the beginning of the investigation, they have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now. So we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation. So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe. It's caused a bit of a distraction because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculations and theories, and some of that has been advanced and people have caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening. That has resulted in us getting information that is either, like I said, distracting. It's taking away time and effort from what the agencies need to be doing as far as looking for Sebastian. We have had so far, as of this morning, 314 tips that have come in through the tip line. It's been mentioned, but I'll say it again. It's 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are also taking tips through email, TBI at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information. now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people, it may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area, or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing or ledges where a teen could have gone to hide or to play, and you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you, or to check it out themselves. We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people to make sure that we are looking everywhere we can. We do want to continue to get the tips, but please don't provide information that you might have seen through social media channels. If you have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he liked to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in. Finally, we want to thank the community. We want to thank the media. You guys have been really good about keeping his name in the public's eye. That's really important. And thank you for your diligence in providing that information out there. And as Chief Deputy said, we also want to thank the community. From the very first day, everybody has really been all in as far as whatever they can do to help in the search, to help pass information on, providing water for the teams that were out conducting the ground searches. So thank you again to everybody. I'm going to pass it back to Eric Craddock.
The weather is rolling in. We've got time for some questions. So, yes, ma'am.
I was a few minutes behind, so sorry if I missed this, but has there been any indication at this point of foul play or anything of that nature?
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
So 5 weeks, and you guys covered so much ground, searching, going back, researching, checked out every case of a possible sighting, nothing confirmed, not a trace of Sebastian anywhere, nothing found, no footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taking us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try and investigate and make sure that we're doing everything we can to find Sebastian.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
2 questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom's and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement since day one of this investigation. There is no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents.
Is them moving to Memphis interfering at all with your investigation? Is it changing possibly the avenues of communication?
No, sir.
You mentioned you were asked about recent evidence. We've heard some rumors that seem to have some validity, that there was glasses found within the past few days. Can you confirm that?
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Have you been able to identify that they were Sebastian's?
We are still investigating.
And on the Cajun Navy, have you found how is that coordination happening? Have you found their work helpful? Are you guys working in unison or separate teams?
The Cajun Navy is operating independently. They have not reached out to us.
Have you found their investigation or their work helpful, or has it been one of the distractions that has been mentioned?
One of the things that I really appreciate they've done is print flyers and keep Sebastian's face out there. It's my hope that one day somebody sees something and calls in and this case breaks wide open and we find Sebastian.
They've claimed they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
No reports. Boom.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
Where's the search go from here? It's been 5 weeks. There's been no signs. Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive. Yes. We're going to continue to work on this investigation and follow up every tip that lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never hurt anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian.
Have the stories been changing at all? Have you been talking with people, interviewing them for a second time possibly?
There is no evidence to support foul play.
Are there any active current leads that you guys are pursuing?
We have tips called in daily.
Any of those tips seem legitimate enough to expand law enforcement resources?
Regardless of their legitimacy, we're going to follow up on it.
Will there be any other agencies pulled in to help in the search efforts for this case?
I'm certain there will be.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Was that at their request, your request? Was that just re-interviewing them again? Or?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this. I've got time for one more question.
Just overall, how has this investigation impacted the morale at your department, especially with all the scrutiny coming online?
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on. The men and women of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the FBI partners, the other local agencies, the Secret Service, everyone who's had a hand in this case is doing everything they can to find Sebastian. Morale's high. We are here and we're dedicated. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for keeping Sebastian in the public. Please continue to publicize this photo. Thank you all.
I gotta rewatch it. I missed the glasses thing. I was too focused on freaking the UCN part. The reporter asked if they found glasses. He said that they did, but they have not confirmed them to belong to Sebastian, right? Certainly they would be able to look at the glasses and say, hey, these are his same pair that he owned. But they're probably DNA testing them and all the things. But I was too busy, I think, laughing. They found glasses, but still don't know if they belong to Sebastian's. They're still testing them. I think the most important thing that came out of this press conference is he said, no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents. No evidence. I want to rewatch it still. Does anybody else want to rewatch it? I feel like I was so focused on hearing. It was the question before the UCN question. Okay. You're starting to believe in UFO abductions. It could be anything at this point, Rexy. I need to re-listen to it. I do. I'm just going to pull it back up. I'm sorry. If you guys don't want to watch it again, I totally understand. As soon as I do this, I am going to go ahead and end the live stream because I need to go live for jury selection. Are they really going to do this to me? Gonna make me pull up my own live to watch it again. Is everybody processing? We'll see what happens. Where were they found? Did they say? I don't know. I completely missed the glasses situation. Yeah, you guys all want to rewatch it again. Okay. Right. No evidence to no evidence. We will listen to it again, but I think the key takeaways are no evidence to indicate foul play on the part of the parents, plural. And they also said that UCN has never called in threats. So, like, come on. I can't with them. They are the most ridiculous. That has to be embarrassing. Like, they're on the news freaking reporting all these different things and stuff about these threats. They're on YouTube channels saying about the threats, and then here's the police like they've not reported anything. I mean, if there was a threat, I didn't hear it. So let's see. Now we'll just get back to this. Let me just stay here. Make sure this is still on. Here we go. Again, closed captions are available if anybody needs closed captions.
All right, I am Eric Craddock, ERIC-CRADDOCK, and I'm the Chief Deputy of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined today by Susan Nyland.
I agree, Amber. They're done.
SUSAN-NILAND.
Don't come around the true crime community. No more UCN.
She's the PIO. I also have with me Sumner County Emergency Management Director Ken Widener, KEN WEIDNER. You guys ready? All right. Morning. I'm Eric Craddock with Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and we're going to come to you today with an update on the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian has been missing since late February. The investigation remains ongoing with steadfast support from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local and federal resources. We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. As I said before, the investigation remains ongoing. The entire community is deeply saddened by what has occurred. We're all extremely concerned for Sebastian's welfare. I want to encourage the community to stay vigilant, to report anything that they think may be of some significance to the investigation, no matter how minute it may appear to be to you. Please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with any tips, or the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838. We understand the anxiety and the concern that this case has caused in the community. We too share the anxiety and concern for Sebastian. I want to reiterate that we are doing everything we can to find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back. Our commitment to finding Sebastian remains. We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the many individuals who have helped in the search, the many individuals who have called in tips, the many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home. At this time, I'll turn it over to Susan Allen from the TBI.
Thank you, WG. Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. We know how invested everybody is in the search for Sebastian, in finding out what happened to him and bringing him home. And we want to let everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him. At the beginning of this investigation, there was a large land search for him. It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds that were searched. There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work. Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads. We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had, in other jurisdictions, who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then review them. It's important so we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now. So we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation. So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe. It's caused a bit of a distraction because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculations and theories, and some of that has been advanced and people have caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening. That has resulted in us getting information that is either, like I said, distracting. It's taking away time and effort from what the agencies need to be doing as far as looking for Sebastian. We have had so far, as of this morning, 314 tips that have come in through the tip line. It's been mentioned, but I'll say it again. It's 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are also taking tips through email, TBI at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information. Now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing or ledges where a teen could have gone to hide or to play, and you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you or to check it out themselves. We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people to make sure that we are looking everywhere we can. We do want to continue to get the tips, but please don't provide information that you might have seen through social media channels. If you have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he liked to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in. Finally, we want to thank the community. We want to thank the media. You guys have been really good about keeping his name in the public's eye. That's really important. And thank you for your diligence in providing that information out there. And as Chief Deputy said, we also want to thank the community. From the very first day, everybody has really been all in as far as whatever they can do to help in the search, to help pass information on, providing water for the teams that were out conducting the ground searches. So thank you again to everybody. I'm going to pass it back to Eric Craddock.
The weather is rolling in. We've got time for some questions. So yes, ma'am.
I was a few minutes behind, so sorry if I missed this, but has there been any indication at this point of foul play or anything of that nature?
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
So 5 weeks, and you guys covered so much ground, searching, going back, researching, checked out every case of a possible sighting, nothing confirmed, not a trace of Sebastian anywhere, nothing found, no footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taking us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try and investigate and make sure that we're doing everything we can to find Sebastian.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
2 questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom's and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement since day one of this investigation. There is no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents.
Is them moving to Memphis interfering at all with your investigation? Is it changing possibly the avenues of communication?
No, sir.
You mentioned, you were asked about recent evidence. We've heard some rumors that seem to have some validity, that there was glasses found within the past few days. Can you confirm that?
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Have you been able to identify that they were Sebastian's?
We are still investigating.
I glossed right over that the first time that we listened. As far as they were just found within the last few days, here's my worry, and I'm just gonna say this as a devil's advocate. People out there know that they have been searching for Sebastian. People out there have seen pictures of Sebastian, and I'm sorry, but I would not put it past people, unfortunately, for content purposes, for whatever, to buy a pair of similar glasses and put them in a location to be found. Does that make sense? And I hate to say that, but that's something that we have to consider in these situations, right? Um and so that's something that we have to keep in mind, that any type of things that are found could technically be planted. Oh, yeah, true. Lip Dr. Moore, not to be picky, but she didn't say that they had cooperated with everything. She said they had done pretty much what had been asked of them. Do you want to say hi?
And on the Cajun Navy, have you found how is that coordination happening? Have you found their work helpful? Are you guys working in unison or separate teams?
The Cajun Navy is operating independently. They have not reached out to us.
I know that would be beyond rude, but I'm just gonna say that we've seen that happen before. I mean, we have seen in cases people have planted baby dolls, they've planted notebooks that say send help. They've planted all kinds of different things just for attention and clicks and views. And that's something that we have to consider now that it's been within the last few days that those were found. I want to know the location that they were found. I want to know all those things, and I'm sure law enforcement is looking into that and they are investigating them. They'll also run for DNA to see if they're Sebastian's, things like that. And so, I wouldn't completely jump and be like, Sebastian's glasses were found, right? There is still a chance that they could be his. I'm not saying that they couldn't be at all, but they will definitely send them for forensics and investigate all of the different things to see if they're relevant to the case or not. Yeah, they only mentioned it because the reporter asked. They wouldn't have mentioned it otherwise. I agree. Um, as a glasser wearer, there's information on the glasses. Right. They can also check for the numbers on the glasses too. It's disgusting. They didn't say where the glasses were found. I'm sure it's in the Facebook groups. I just haven't personally looked for that information. I'm just telling you guys to keep an open mind with it. Sometimes whenever we see information like that come in, it's one of those things that you have to take it and then you have to put it in your pocket, right? Nick questions the words he used to answer what? To answer which question? About the foul play? Well, he said foul play to the first person, but then or that there was no foul play in the first person, and then he says that they're leaving it open to that there's not necessarily any foul play, but Nick doesn't question him a second time after he says no foul play by the parents. Nick doesn't say anything. So I think don't keep in mind, BC, you guys are 1 minute behind me. 60 seconds because of the closed captioning being on. Right, and Gabby Petito's water bottle was found by JLR, Olivia, etc. Exactly. And so please, keep in mind stuff like this happens. Oh, the footprints. Okay. Welcome, by the way, Steph. Good to see you. Yeah. Um, it's sad, but we've seen it happen in cases, so. Yeah, we won't forget that stunt or video, right? Or the knife that was found at the church that the Wells went to, or when freaking Ernie Shell and his group went out and they claimed that they found a tote buried by the NASCAR thing and all this other stuff, and then whenever they went to go retrieve it, that it was no longer there. Like, there's so many people who just do disgusting stuff in these cases for clicks, for views, for whatever purposes and intentions, and so, just put it in your pocket. It could be his glasses, we don't know. I feel like if it was the glasses of Sebastian's, if they weren't like Sebastian's, they would have said, "We're still investigating that." Well, no, they're going to say that they're still investigating it because they're still investigating it. Yeah, the same JLR who's been covering this case from location, right? He's been home, though. I don't know when the glasses were found. He's been at home. So he's been home a couple days now, ever since UCN was shot at, which was never oddly reported to police. We're going to find out.
Have you found their investigation or their work helpful, or has it been one of the distractions that has been mentioned?
One of the things that I really appreciate they've done is print flyers and keep Sebastian's face out there. It's my hope that one day somebody sees something and calls in and this case breaks wide open and we find Sebastian.
They've claimed they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports with the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
That part literally cracked me up. I was like, oh, because he's like, you can't, I don't know nothing about threats. If you don't even tell us that you were threatened, you didn't report it. Freaking UCN. I can't. Like, any type of legitimacy that they had, they just like, here's the toilet, here's the handle. They just flush it right down. You're done. I can't even. It's got to be so embarrassing.
Where does the search go from here? It's been 5 weeks, there's been no signs. Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive, yes. We're going to continue to work on this investigation and follow up every tip that lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never hurt anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian.
Have the stories been changing at all? Have you been talking with people, interviewing them for a second time possibly?
There is no evidence to support foul play.
Are there any active current leads that you guys are pursuing?
We have tips called in daily.
Any of those tips seem legitimate enough to expand up law enforcement resources?
Regardless of their legitimacy, we're going to follow up on it.
Will there be any other agencies pulled in to help in the search efforts for this case?
I'm certain there will be.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Was that at their request, your request? Was that just re-interviewing them again? Or?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this. I've got time for one more question.
Just overall, how has this investigation impacted the morale at your department, especially with all of the scrutiny coming online?
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on. The men and women of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the FBI partners, the other local agencies, the Secret Service, everyone who's had a hand in this case is doing everything they can to find Sebastian. Morale's high. We are here and we are dedicated. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for keeping Sebastian in the public. Please continue to publicize this photo. Thank you all.
He didn't. I see what you're asking, Shaggy. Mom and stepdad said they had threats. Does that mean that they didn't report them either? He didn't address that. Nothing that was asked was even about mom and stepdad with the threats. It was just about UCN. And so the answer that he gave was about UCN. It had nothing to do with mom and stepdad. That was not asked or answered if they had received threats or if it had been investigated or not. So, and they likely won't. Good morning, Angie baby. I actually am going to tell you goodbye at the same time. I appreciate every single one of you guys who came in and supported and listened to this stream. We are late for jury selection on the Daybell case, and so we are going to be streaming that trial. If you guys are interested in the Doomsday Prophet murders, he killed his wife and his new wife's 2 children, or allegedly, I guess I should say, is connected and to murdering those individuals. We will be watching the entire trial from beginning to end. This live stream should redirect you to that live stream as soon as I fire it up here. And we are going to finish watching jury selection. Hopefully they go through 16 people today, hoping for a quicker day today than what we had yesterday. Yesterday, they went through 32 individuals. They picked 16 out. They're trying to get to a jury pool of 50 people. Yesterday, they selected 8 women and 8 men. And so we're going to go jump over to jury selection. We're a little bit behind, but that's okay. I know that there's going to be dead air that we can cut out, and that we can zoom right up to where they are pretty quickly. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Like I said, thank you, Skinny, for becoming a new member. B. Tim, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. B. Crumbs, gifted memberships. Thank you so much for gifting 10, I believe, total. Thank you to myself for gifting 5 memberships. Annie Lou, 5 memberships. Thank you. B. Tim gifted 10 memberships. Salty C gifted 10 memberships. Jenna, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Phil, thank you for being a member for gifting 5 memberships and becoming a member. I believe you might have been gifted a membership and then gifted, which was awesome. B. Crumbs, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Annie Lou for 26 months since the beginning of time. There was Annie Lou and Seal. My first 2 members, Annie Lou, Seal, Lip Lock No More, Locomai, and B. Tim have been here since eternity, it feels like. Mama Bear, thank you so much for being a member for 13 months, and In the Bushes as well, member for so long. I love you guys all. Thank you again for your support. Green hearts for Sebastian. Again, I honest to goodness, I have hope every single day that they're going to be able to find him and that he will be brought home safe. And until then, we just got to keeping his face out there, keeping the story circulating. I just want to live stream drop Locomai one more time. Don't forget, guys, I did put her video in the description about the 2 missing women on their way to go for a supervised visit in their car in Oklahoma, right near the Kansas border, and vanished. Just absolutely vanished with no information. But yes, in case this does not transfer you over to jury selection, here is the link for that. And I love you guys. I will see you all later. Bye.